The Atlanta Falcons record is 5-6, and it is even more of a must-win for them.
Yeah, I think if the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a playoff team, they have to start playing like one, and they have to start playing like a playoff team today. And the way they have to do it is they have to contain the Eagles and contain Randall Cunningham. When you talk to the Falcons, that's all they talk about is we can't let Cunningham get outside the pocket, and we can't let him throw the deep one on us.
Coming up, it's the Eagles and the Falcons from the Georgia Dome, and John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station. Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Wonderful facility. Very convenient to downtown Atlanta. And obviously the weather is not a factor. Scott Tyner set to kick off, number 4 for Atlanta.
Vaughn, Hebron, and Herschel Walker. Back deep for the Eagles. Hebron is 45. Walker is 34. Herschel, of course, still has many admirers. He's still regarded as somewhat of a Superman here in this area after his great days at the University of Georgia. It's going to be Hebron at about the 8. And down just outside the 20. Here are the Eagle lineups. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback. Again, he dislocated a thumb on his left hand, not his throwing hand, wearing a glove to protect that injury. Bernard Williams, Davis, Alexander, Holmes, and Thompson in front of him. To his side and behind him, Herschel Walker and Charlie Garner will start at running back. Barnett, Williams, and Maurice Johnson, the tight end. Mark Bavaro did not make the trip. Normally he would start. Alvin Williams is the man in motion. Cunningham either went the wrong way or the backs did. And Cunningham for a loss of about 3. And let's look at the Falcon defense. They're up to the occasion on that busted play. Dolman, Gardner, Pierce Holt, and Chuck Smith start up front. Clay Matthews, Jesse Tuggle, and Ken Tippins open at linebacker. In the secondary, DJ Johnson, Brett Maxey, Kevin Ross, and Darnell Walker. 2nd and 13. At first play, lost 3. Walker on the move. Cunningham to Garner. No room for Charlie Garner. Loose ball, and the Falcons think they have it. Their offensive unit already on the field, but we'll still have to wait.
Well, we were talking about the Eagles being frustrated and not having a lot of confidence, and this is no way for them to start. First play, Cunningham goes the wrong way. The second play, he hands it to Charlie Gardner. Gardner starts. The ball's just knocked out by Walker. You see, he just put his right arm in there. Boom, just popped that thing out, and the Falcons get the ball inside the 20.
Ken Tippins made the recovery. Yes, they do get the recovery. 1st and 10, Atlanta at the Eagle 18.
And this is where the Atlanta Falcons, Pat, have been having their trouble. They move the ball in this red gun, this 4-wide receiver set, but they have trouble. They've been having trouble inside the 20.
Jeff George, the quarterback. Craig Haywood behind him. Kind of a passive fake to Haywood. Ricky Sanders makes the catch at the 10. Let's look at the Falcon offense, led by Jeff George. He's been hot lately, although they've lost. 63.5% of his passes completed. Up front, a big offensive line. Ken Richards, Roman Fortin, Mike Zandowski, and Bob Whitfield, the best of the lot. Craig Haywood will be the lone running back. Rison, Mathis, Sanders, and Bert Emanuel. The receivers, 4 of them. 2nd and 2. Sanders, the move man. George opens in that direction, gets it to Ricky Sanders. Enough for a first down, and here's the Eagle defense. Sanders stopped by Otis Smith. Greg Townsend, William Perry, Andy Harmon, and William Fuller in front. Thomas and Romanowski, just 2 linebackers as they go with 5 defensive backs. Allen, Smith, Jackson, Zordich, and McMillan. 1st and goal Atlanta at the 7. Still only one setback. Ironhead Hayward. Mathis the move man this time. Jeff George trying to set up a screen to Hayward. The Eagles read it. Otis Smith knocked Jeff George out of bounds.
Yeah, and this is the thing that Bud Carson, the Eagles, was worried about. You watch Ironhead Hayward. He's going to come in like he's going to block, and then he just sets here. The roll starts this way, and he's setting for a screen. Now, the Eagles say the number one thing they have to take away is this play. You see Ironhead there? He's right here. They're taking it away right there. And Jeff George can't throw it to him, so then he has to run because he had nothing else. That was a screen pass.
Wisely, he doesn't throw it to him. At the 9, 2nd and goal. And Jeff George doesn't like what he sees, calls a timeout. Crowd not happy with what's happening. There's Bud Carson, who coordinates the Eagle defense. Georgia Dome. 2nd and goal from the 9 for the Atlanta Falcons. The Eagles make a last-minute change in their defense. The offensive set for the Falcons remains the same. Hayward. Back of Jeff George. Terence Mathis gets the Atlanta touchdown. What a year he's having. That's his 81st catch of the year. Ex-New York Jet.
81, Terence Mathis is a slot, and you're going to see him just come right here. He just makes a little fake there and runs a quick out. Jeff George hits him, and he's in the end zone.
Ran away from Otis Smith.
Yeah, he was just man-to-man on him. Otis Smith was up in the line, didn't hit him or anything, just let Mathis use his quickness to get away from him.
Norm Johnson. 133 in a row for him as far as extra points are concerned, and the Falcons lead at 7-0. At Georgia Dome. Atlanta Falcons lead Philadelphia 7-0. Charlie Garner fumble. That's Michael Bolton.
I'm fast. I can tell you right now, I'm fast. I can hit the ball hard.
Yeah, he says he can hit the ball hard. In fact, I saw Michael Bolton the other day. I was watching television, and lo and behold, a softball game broke out, and Michael Bolton was playing in a softball game against some Major League All-Stars, I think. Guys were on strike.
But today he's in the wrong arena. Herschel Walker returned the kickoff to about the 18. Elbert Shelley down to knock him down.
That's why it's a touchdown again. Here's Terence Mathis. Here's Andre Rison. All he's going to do is take his guy deep. Terence Mathis just goes boom like that and then right to the outside. He's on Otis Smith there. You see, Smith doesn't touch him. See, he just gives him a couple moves. Quickly, Jeff George rolls a little to that side. In fact, he just kind of goes to that side, hits him. Otis Smith is beaten and then doesn't make a tackle. I think anytime anyone sees Otis Smith in there, he's the first guy they look to go to work on is number 30.
1st and 10 for Randall Cunningham. The Eagles at their own 19. They trailed 7-0. Early in the first quarter. Cunningham back to Garner. Garner hit behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Dolman.
Well, the Eagles came in here and they wanted to establish a running game, and they had 3 ugly plays in a row, haven't they? The first one they went the wrong way. The second one they fumbled. And then watch this thing. They're going to start out here. It's a toss out here to the left. Again, penetration by Dolman. Gardner doesn't even have a chance. That wasn't much of a block by Herschel Walker.
2nd down. Cunningham out of the spread. And the ball is deflected. Knocked back into the end zone. Hit by Ken Tippin.
Here's Tippin right here. He's just going to come up and get a rush. You get as far as you can. You get as much penetration as you can. You see Tippin's number 52. Get as much penetration. Then when you're end with the penetration, just get your hand up. Watch him. He gets his left hand up. See, he's hit there. Get that left hand up there and take away a throwing lane. Cunningham didn't have much of a throwing lane even before Tippins got up there.
3 wide receivers now for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3rd and 14. Flag on the play. Cunningham just covers up. Atlanta Falcons jumped offside.
Well, you know, the Eagles have always been a hot and cold offense, and today they're starting out very, very cold.
Johnny Greer's the referee today.
I think this year, the 1994 season, has led the league.
Infraction, right side of the defensive line. Will penalize 5 yards and replay the 3rd down.
In those officials' crew conferences, I've seen more calls, and then all the guys get together to decide what they just called in 1994 than any other year.
There's June Jones with that's a novel.
Well, that's the old playbook. You know, you always hear about the playbook. How big's the playbook? What's in the playbook? June Jones brings his whole book. The other side, they just bring 1 page of it.
3rd and 9 after the penalty.
That page isn't too good so far.
Cunningham's got to come out of there. Gets it out to James Joseph. The pressure was early and fierce on Cunningham. He had to scramble.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but you see what Cunningham did? He's going to get the pressure in the middle, and that's going to force him out. Here comes Pierce Holt. He comes straight up the middle. Now watch Cunningham. He throws that ball, and then he makes a lead block right there.
Yep.
Wasn't good enough. I mean, they still have to punt, but like I said, the Eagles are frustrated, and they're going to try anything in this game.
Brian Barker's kick comes off the side of his foot. Clarence Burden fields it and is knocked out of bounds hard at the 30. Atlanta 7, Philadelphia nothing. 10:34 left to play in the 1st quarter in Atlanta. Atlanta 7, Philadelphia nothing. Randall Cunningham going through his notes. He's got a bad left thumb. They've had 2 disastrous first possessions, and I don't think the thumb had anything to do with that.
Well, he and James Joseph are looking down there at those, it used to be Polaroids. Now they call them electronic images that show the pictures of what the Falcons were doing on defense to them.
Falcons in there, run and gun. Jeff George. It's a matter of the quarterback reading what the receiver is going to do or what he thinks he's going to do, and the receiver and the quarterback being on the same page, reading a defense the same way.
Right, and it's kind of half the field. You either have an onside or a backside. The quarterback is going to roll. Jeff George rolls out every play. That's June Jones, and kind of he and Mouse Davis started this. Well, Mouse Davis started it, and then June Jones played in it, and then this run and gun, and it's always roll right or roll left, either throw onside or backside.
See which way he comes out. He gives to Haywood this time. Old Haywood, the fullback. That's close to a 1st down.
I tell you, he's so proud of his weight now. Here's big Ironhead here. They're just going to turn and just, give him anything that he'll hit there. All it takes is a little push. You see, he gets a good block by his guard, then he gets a trap by the off guard. He times it perfectly and just hits that hole. But Ironhead, a year ago, weighed 325 pounds, and now he's down to 265, and he really feels good about himself.
Yes, he does.
I saw him yesterday, and I know about heavy guys. I saw him yesterday. When I first saw him, he didn't have a shirt on. When you get an old heavy guy that doesn't wear a shirt, he's proud of what he lost.
He has accomplished a lot of things, not just losing weight. And he's become a different player and a different person.
He sure has. And there's Randall Cunningham, and you see they're looking at those images. You see those are the defenses the Falcons were playing, and he's showing the coverage, and then they're looking at what they did and thinking about what they can do.
Hayward did get the 1st down. George fakes the carry to him. Gets it to Terence Mathis. Mathis gets about 5.
If Mathis doesn't watch out, he's going to catch a couple hundred passes this year.
Truth, isn't it?
June Jones said he always liked him. You know, he came over from the Jets where he was, you know, a kick returner and he'd catch about 30 or 40 passes a year. In fact, you see from 90 to 93, he only caught 93 passes, and already he's caught over 80 with the Falcons.
82 now with those 2 receptions today.
But
he is from Atlanta, excuse me. This is sort of a homecoming for him, too.
Right, and I think the slot guy, I think part of it's scheme. You know, the slot guy in this run and shoot is going to catch a lot of balls.
Terence Mathis from Jeff George at the Eagle 35, stopped by Otis Smith.
Now, this is what you call backside now. You see, Mathis is on the backside, and he's going to come up, and he's going to run it in. You see, he's reading, and then he puts his hand up when he's getting ready to cut. Now, George has to watch him. They don't know what pattern they're going to run. Mathis is reading the defense, and George is reading the defense. And George rolled right and threw back to Mathis.
Mathis shaken up, comes out, replaced by Darrell Spencer. Inside the 30. Picked up 6 or 7. William Fuller tripped him up.
That's another good block by Mike Zandowski, the right guard. It's the second time they ran that trap. And you're going to see, here's Zandowski here. He pulls and makes a trap here. Hayward takes a little jab step and runs right off Zandowski's block. You see the little counter? Now watch 72. Boom! He makes that trap right there. Hayward's right in behind him, and whack, just runs right off that thing.
Hayward got 7, it's 2nd and 3. Hayward again. First down and more. To about the 21.
Ironhead's ready to rumble.
What a difference in a guy.
I know. He's always had. I mean, you look at Big Ironhead, and he's always looked like a guard or a tackle, but he's always had one thing. He's had quick feet.
Yep.
He has good feet and quick feet, and then he's so big, and when he gets his shoulder square and he gets going upfield, they tackle him the only place you can, and that's below the knees. If you look at that body, that's the only place on that body you want to hit.
Motion is Spencer. George too much time. Mike Ken might have jumped backwards. He's some story too. Mike Ken's always
Ball
been
start, 62 offense prior to the snap.
on Dave Richards, not Mike Ken. Sorry, Mike. Started to say he's been a remarkable blocker, a remarkable tackle for a lot of years, particularly pass blocker.
I know. I've always said that Mike Ken, I remember years ago saying he was a picture-perfect pass protector.
And you can still say it.
And you can still say that. I mean, 17 years in the league. I think if anyone wanted to know or learn the techniques of pass protection, they ought to learn it from Mike Ken.
George going deep, incomplete. Intended for Andre Rison, knocked down by Jackson.
Let's watch the technique. Here's Mike Ken here. And again, left tackle, you always want to keep your inside foot up. You see, you never let that inside foot go, because then if you put your inside foot back, then he can take the inside. You always keep that inside foot up and just work the guy to the outside. Don't let him get to the inside, which is the shortest distance to the passer.
Look at this. In the 78 draft in the first round, 12th choice was Clay Matthews, now an Atlanta Falcon. Right behind him, Mike Ken. 2nd and 15. Screen pass, Terence Mathis. Flag on the play as Mathis gets to the 20. Andy Harmon made the stop. Holding. It's going to be against the Falcons. George sort of, he doesn't really roll out. He doesn't really sprint out. He sort of strolls away from the center.
And sometimes he just kind of fades right or fades left instead of rolling or sprinting.
Holding, 72, offense. Still 2nd down.
Zandowski.
That's old Mike Zandowski. He's the right guard right here. He's made some good trap blocks today. Well, watch him here. You see that left arm goes up around Andy Harmon's neck, and it just stayed there a little too long, because sometimes you take the inside away with your foot, but you also take it away with your hand. Zandowski took it away with his left foot and his left arm up around old Andy Harmon's neck, though.
2nd and 25. Mathis in motion. Wind up and trips right. George looks in that direction, incomplete. Brought it down and sidearmed it a little bit.
Yeah, the other thing we were talking about, Ironhead Hayward, he runs those screens and he runs those draws, and he also helps the guards block. And they're going to roll right or left, and he does what they call chip. And that time he went up and he chipped Andy Harmon, who was against Zandowski. Now here's what a chip is. You say, what's a chip? Well, you're going to get a roll, and he comes up and he chips. He helps block, and then you get the quarterback rolling to that side. Now watch number 34, Ironhead Hayward. You see him come up, sit right there. That's a chip.
That's a tough chip.
I'll tell you, the guy who he chips on has some ribs the next day.
Yeah. Flag on the play, and the Falcons are going backwards.
Yeah, the Falcons have had a tough time with the penalties and the officiating and the calls. Remember last week in Denver? Woof.
False start, number 1, offense. Still 3rd down.
Number 1 is Jeff George.
Jeff George is shaking his hand. He said, that's a bunch of baloney. Now here's Jeff George. He's right here. He's in the shotgun. And they're saying that he false started. I don't know what he did. I mean, he sure as heck didn't move.
Must have been some kind of phony count or something.
Yeah, but look at it this way. He can do that. It's just moving his shoulders, and you have to do that to get enough voice to get out to your wide receivers. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
George keeps going right. Throws deep to the end zone, incomplete.
Yeah, the Eagle defense played pretty well on that series, Pat. Plus the penalties just killed the Falcons, because if you look at the sticks, they were way down there at one time.
Took them all the way out of field goal range.
I mean, they were first down was around the 12-yard line.
Right.
They just went backwards quickly with those penalties. Holding penalties, offsides penalties, quarterback penalties.
Harold Alexander to kick it. Jeff Seidner signals fair catch at about the 7-yard line. Now he's saying they didn't give me enough room to make that catch. But that's all for naught. A lot of finger pointing. One guy pointing up, one guy pointing down. I'll take the guy pointing down. John Madden in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome. This is, as domes go, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, this is a good-looking dome if you like domes. It could use some more people in it, though.
Yeah.
One thing here, the Falcon team hasn't ingratiated the fans where they don't come sit in all the seats.
Cunningham looks behind him, and now drops to throw it. Wings it out of bounds. Intended for Calvin Williams. Way over his head. Zeke Bretkowski.
Old Zeke's looking for a good play there that he can call in. See, Rich Kotite calls the plays. He's standing next to Zeke. He calls him to Zeke. He tells him to Zeke. Then Zeke talks in that microphone that goes into a receiver in the helmet of Randall Cunningham.
Zeke also played at nearby Athens at the University of Georgia. A little bit before Herschel Walker. Barnett. Here in Atlanta, it's 7-0 Atlanta over Philadelphia. The Eagles ball 3rd and 10 at their own 7. Cunningham out of the end zone. Gets the ball to Herschel Walker. Not enough for an Eagle first.
Yeah, both of these teams, they have bad things happen to them on first and second down, like the Falcons last time they had the ball. They had 3 penalties and sent them back. And here, if you don't gain something on first down, it's hard when you get in that 3rd and long. You get a completion, you still have to punt.
Barker's kick this time is a dandy to Clarence Burden. Looking for some place to go, doesn't find it. Falcons will take over at their own 34. They lead 7-0. Here are the standings in the NFC East. Dallas, of course, won on Thanksgiving Day, 10-2 their record. The Eagles 7-4, Arizona 5-6, the Giants 4-7, and Washington 2-9. They play each other today. In the West, Atlanta's in second place, 5-6. They're trying to get today to even 500, and they'll play San Francisco next week. The 49ers 9-2.
Yeah, and of that group, I mean, the Cowboys are the ones that are playing like champions right now. I mean, that effort on Thanksgiving Day by Jason Garrett, and the effort by Emmitt Smith, his offensive line. I mean, that was a tired team that really emptied their tank. That really impressed me.
Both wide receivers were hurt. They still played. George wings it out to Andre Rison, out of bounds.
And I think the other team is playing like a championship team, or championship caliber, the San Francisco 49ers.
We'll see next week against these Falcons.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting thing. Andre Rison against Deion Sanders again. Andre Rison wasn't even active. He was suspended last week, so they get him back today. And while he was gone, it looked like Jeff George has really gotten to know Terence Mathis a lot better, and is going a lot more to Mathis than he has thus far to Andre Rison.
Andre Rison, very talented, covered today by Eric Allen. Here's George. Confusion in the backfield, and George had to get it out of bounds.
You know, now both teams have one of those, and I don't know how you practice all week, and this can happen. I seriously don't, where you come back and you're going, it's just going to be a plain handoff, and the guy you go to hand off to isn't there. It looks like George was going to the right and Hayward went to the left, and Randall Cunningham and the Eagles did the same thing. I don't know how that happens. I really don't. Someone in the huddle doesn't hear it, or thought you said left when you said right, or thought you said 2 when you said 3, or whatever, but that shouldn't happen at the 12th game of the season.
And you find yourself, when it does happen in situations like this, 3rd and 12. George, look out, from behind by Andy Harmon.
And Jeff George did the one thing that you can't do. You can go back there. Here's Andy Harmon. He's number 91. He's running a stunt, going to the outside. Jeff George looks at him right there. And when he looked at Andy Harmon, if he would have kept looking downfield and step up, he could have thrown the ball maybe. But when he looked at Andy Harmon, it was too late.
When you look, you lose everything. Jeff Seidner back deep for the Eagles. Down quickly are the Falcons. Elbert Shelley had 2 shots at Seidner. The second one was successful. Good hustle.
Andy Harmon was impressive on that move. I mean, where he started to the inside and then looped around to the outside and made that tackle on Jeff George. But like I said, Jeff George saw him. And then when he saw Andy Harmon, he brought the ball down, and then he was just open for Harmon to get him.
June Jones
probably telling Jeff George, hey, you got to get rid of the ball quickly, and you have to keep looking downfield. Quarterback can never look at the rush.
Charlie Garner's the deep back. Cunningham throws. Fake the screen to him, gets the screen to Walker on the other side. Fake right, screen left, Herschel Walker at the 45. Jesse Tuggle tripped him up. That's the Eagles' first down. Fake screen right, screen left.
Yeah, but you're going to see they fake the screen to Charlie Gardner on one side and then throw it to the other side. See, he's going to come out here and fake it out there to the right to Charlie Gardner. Now here's Herschel Walker. After he fakes it there, then Herschel Walker delays a little. Then he comes back to the screen on this side, gets a good block there, then just runs the ball straight up the field.
Perfect timing.
Had a good block by his wide receiver, Calvin Williams, at the end.
1st and 10, Eagles. Cunningham throws the fade successfully to Fred Barnett.
How'd you like to be Fred Barnett? You catch a pass and then the fridge hits you on the shoulder pad. Here's the fade. Here's Fred Barnett out there. Just 1, 2, 3. Just put the ball up over to his outside. And then the fridge. Watch the fridge. He's going to come and hit him. That's a perfect touch. I mean, you just throw that thing right up over where Fred Barnett is going to get it, and that's it.
There's William Perry, the fridge.
He has his weight up there about where he wants it now.
Cunningham fake to Walker, and down he goes. Chuck Smith, not fooled by the fake. And Cunningham lost a bunch.
Have been trying to throw that screen pass again. They had effective use of the screen pass, and this is going to be the same thing. It's going to be another screen pass. You see him, he fakes there, and then he's going to throw the screen pass out here. He was going to throw it out there to the right after he sneaked through. I don't think he had anyone to throw it to.
I don't see anybody.
The only guy Randall Cunningham could see at the end was Chuck Smith, number 90.
Lost 15, 2nd and 25. The give is to Garner. Here's Holt at the bottom of that pile, the ex-49er. There's Jesse Tuggle. Everybody said he couldn't make it, couldn't play, wasn't big enough, wasn't strong enough. But he's become not Pierce Holt. He's certainly big enough and strong enough. Jesse Tuggle.
Yeah, Pierce Holt still wearing that shield. You know, he's blind in one eye. And, you know, and he's learned over the years to play with that and play well. But it's hard to be blind in one eye and play anywhere, especially tackle, because they're coming from all angles.
Here's Holt with a bull rush straight ahead. Cunningham comes out of there straight ahead and is hit down outside the 40. Too far away for a field goal. Dwayne Gordon and Ken Tippins made the stop on a Randall.
I think it's Pierce Holt, though, that made him. You see the pressure. He gets up the middle, and he has no one open at the time. You see, he gets the pressure. There's Pierce Holt coming straight up the middle. You see, and that made him move. That brought him up here, and he still had an opening.
Fair catch signal by Clarence Verdun for Atlanta, and the Falcons will take over at their own 12. 45 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
And neither one of these teams have been able to get like a running game going and then create situations like 2nd and short or 3rd and short. It seems like every time they're 2nd and 10 and then they're like 3rd and 15 or 20, and that's tough to play. Otho Davis there, the trainer for the Eagles, looks like he was looking at Randall Cunningham's left thumb.
Dislocated it last week. There, he's wearing a glove over it for not just to wear a glove, but for protection as well.
Right, and he has underneath that glove, he has the left thumb is taped. And you know, and where that bothers you is not so much on throwing, but it bothers you once when you get hit and tackled and fall on it or on the snap.
Hayward straight ahead outside the 15. Stop. And again, it's Andy Harmon.
Andy Harmon is a guy who is quietly very effective on this Philadelphia Eagle defense. You know, we're looking for guys at the end of the year. We'll have our all Madden team again, and you just kind of look at Andy Harmon and you think, well, there's not a bad guy to start with. I mean, he kind of belongs there.
You think about what he's done this year. He's still been the Eagles' best lineman with a bone broken in his hand.
Yeah, and he played all that year, you know, with a cast on his thumb. One time was a big old cast.
George, incomplete. Bert Emanuel jumped when he didn't have to. That's the end of the first quarter with the score, Atlanta 7 and the Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
Georgia Dome. Happy holidays.
7-0. Atlanta leads. They have the ball at their own 16.5-yard line.
You know, this is the thing of going backwards fast. You see that, you know, neither team has had good third down position. I mean, it's been 14 and 15 yards to go. So on first and second down, instead of gaining yardage, they've been going the other way and ended up third and long. And that's darn near impossible in this league today.
And it's been on both sides of the ball. George. Incomplete. Intended for Mathis. And again, the punting unit comes on.
You know, look at that of plays of 0 yards or less. The Eagles have 4 and the Falcons have 3.
That's not very good.
I think it's a combination of that and the penalties that have really hurt both these teams.
Alexander back to punt. This one is up almost to the top of the dome. Fair catch signal for by Seidner. The Eagles will take it over in a little bit better shape this time. Out of the 42-yard line. Back in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. The Falcons lead the Eagles 7-0. So far, the birds of prey have not found any food. James Joseph was the man in motion. That's Charlie Garner, the rookie from Tennessee, who early in the year was so spectacular, but the injury came back to haunt him, and this is the best he's been in a long time.
And the thing with Charlie Garner, I mean, if you can give him a hole, he can get to it and through it
In a hurry.
And then he can, I mean, he can on any play. He's capable of running a long way. I mean, I think you just keep feeding the ball to him as long as you can. Don't get away from him, because he's capable of the big one for you.
2nd and 8. This is Walker coming in motion. And Cunningham back to throw. Out to Walker. Herschel's got on some new pads today. He had to jump for that high throw by Cunningham. These are lighter. Fit his shoulders better, he said.
Yeah, and it looked like that ball almost knocked him over. Either the baller was so high. I mean, he went up in the air to catch it and went flat on his back. I mean, to say the Eagles are out of sync would be an overstatement. I mean, I think they're flat and out of sync, and maybe the flat is trying to run a 4th flat tire.
Still got a car, but the wheels are flat. Cunningham incomplete. Intended for Charlie Garner. They'll have to punt again.
See, and that's a typical Eagle series. And that's what happens to them. They first down, they only gain a yard or two. Second down's incomplete, so they get 3rd and long, and they don't have plays that are going to get them that 3rd and long.
It's hard to know what goes wrong. Richie Kotite was saying they had one of the best weeks of practices they ever had.
He looked like he was mad at Randall Cunningham on that exchange.
Berdan says stay away from it. It does bounce back in favor of the Falcons, and they'll take over at about their own 24. 7-0 Atlanta. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 7-0. The Atlanta Falcons lead the Eagles.
Well, we're just talking about the all-Madden team and Andy Harmon, and look, Hope Foles being key word. That's where all the turkeys are right now.
All right.
We had a heck of a Thanksgiving in Dallas. On the bus, we had 3 turkeys. It was a 3-turkey Thanksgiving.
And they all disappeared in a hurry.
They're all carcasses right now as we speak.
First down, Atlanta. George to throw it. Wheels it to Ricky Sanders. About an 8-yard pickup. That's the best play they've had in a long time, but there's a flag on the play. Back in the holding area.
And this is the thing. I mean, the Falcons really feel that, one, they really aren't playing well, but the officiating
72
has been against
offense.
them.
Still first down.
Well,
72 again is a right guard, Mike Sandofsky. This is his second holding call.
Again, it's against Andy Harmon.
Yeah, what they do, the Falcons, the way they pass protect is they start to block. Then at the end of the block, they just throw their guys down to the ground.
1st and 20. That's been a familiar story. 1st and 2nd and 3rd and long. George, incomplete. Andre Rison slipped down.
Well, Andre Rison hasn't been a factor yet in this game. Patty hasn't caught a pass. Again, last week he didn't play. You see the Falcons have 3 wide receivers on one side. 2 go out. Andre Rison comes underneath, and he was just starting to come under control, and both feet slipped out from under him.
2nd and 20. Here we go again. Pegram. That wasn't a very handsome play either.
Well, they tried to run that same trap again where Mike Sandusky pulls across and traps, and then Pegram was supposed to run off him, but they played the trap a lot better that time, and they bounced Pegram out. And then he had to get into about 3 holes out where he was supposed to go. You know,
Bud Carson. Excuse me, John.
No, I was just going to say, with a Bud Carson defense, I mean, you can do something once and maybe twice, but that trap isn't going to be there all day.
3rd and 20. George has forever. Pegram gets out to about the 28-9-yard line, short of a first down. They'll have to punt again. Otis Smith tripped him up. Alexander's had a busy day as the Falcon punter.
I think the Eagles offense are kind of shooting themselves in the foot, and the Falcons are doing it more with penalties than they are bad plays.
Jeff Seidner back deep for the Eagles. This off the side of Alexander's foot and out of bounds in front of the Falcon bench.
What the heck was that?
That's what they call a shank in some sports. Eagles ball, 1st and 10, their own 43-yard line. James Joseph, the man in motion. Cunningham is the man down. Dolman in his face.
Cunningham was trying to make that bootleg. You're going to see Cunningham here. He's going to fake this way. Dolman doesn't go for it. Dolman comes up the field and is waiting about right here for him. You see, this is a bootleg. You get motion, you fake one side, come back to the other side, and after Cunningham made the fake, the first thing he saw was number 56.
Chris Dolman, who spent so many years in Minnesota, always a great pass rusher.
Now the Eagles are 2nd and 20 again.
Yep. Cunningham gets it to Joseph. Fumble. But after he was down. He was down. Who is the only head coach to coach both Philadelphia and Atlanta? The 2 teams involved today will wait to play. Give you a chance to think about it, and us a chance to think about it.
And I can add one more thing, because I know who he is, but he also played college football in the state of Georgia.
At the University of Georgia.
I know that guy.
That's a good clue. Here comes Dolman, and there goes Cunningham down again. Flag on the play. Charles Smith.
Yeah, Chris Dolman just went right by Bernard Williams. And Chris Dolman, when he wants to rush the passer from that outside, can still do it. He hasn't been doing it consistently here in Atlanta, but over the years, remember at Minnesota, been one of the top pass rushers. Just watch him. He's right here. Here's Williams here trying to block him. Now, he can go outside or inside. This one here, he just stays outside. Hits him with the right, then the left. Just gets right by him.
The speed has always been there from number 56.
Yep. Chuck Smith was the guy who made up the tackle, but it was Chris Dolman who really got there.
Brian Barker to punt it to Clarence Verdun. Good kick. Verdun saw it go over his head. Finally goes into the end zone. They'll bring it back to the 20. Almost. The answer to the question. Well, here's the question first. Who's the only head coach to coach both Philadelphia and Atlanta? As the head coach, the Swamp Fox, Marion Campbell. The Eagles 83-85, Atlanta 87-89.
Yeah, and then
good man.
Was a great man, and played at the University of Georgia. I remember when he played for the San Francisco 49ers. He and Bob Toniff. Well, those were two defensive linemen.
Good pair.
Yep, then he played with the Philadelphia Eagles. Coached the Eagles, so you could even played the Eagles and coached the Eagles and coached the Falcons and played in the state of Georgia. Those Swamp Fox did a lot, didn't they?
Yes, he did. And he's still doing it. 1st and 10, Atlanta. George to Mathis. About 6. Stopped by Romanowski.
So far, you watch this run and shoot, Pat, and it's just Jeff George coming out and playing catch with Terence Mathis.
So far.
Yeah, just kind of roll right or sprint right or left and throw it to Terence Mathis. There's so much about Andre Rison, and you know, everyone talks about Andre Rison, and all the players and coaches, they all put him. When you talk about the top wide receivers, he's always in the top 3 or 4.
He is one of the elite.
Jerry Rice is always number 1.
Yeah. No matter who you talk to. That's Eric. I beg your pardon. Is that Pegram? Yes.
You see who made that tackle again? Andy Harmon. You know, and he's one of those guys, Andy Harmon, who plays well against the run and also in the pass rush. You watch him in here, boom, he gets penetration, takes on his guy, plays the blocker with the right arm and makes a tackle with the left arm. Andy Harmon's having a heck of a first half here.
He's had a heck of a year. Been a real bright spot as far as the Eagles are concerned. 3rd and 5. They're 0 for 5 in the conversion area in this situation. Incomplete. Bert Emanuel, the intended receiver, and another punt coming up.
They didn't beat Mark McMillan. One thing McMillan could do is he has good quickness, and they tried to run that throwback. You see, he's going to kind of like sprint, or he just goes to his left a little and then throws back to the right.
McMillan's one of the few guys that looks like he's having a good time playing this game.
Yeah, he does have a good time playing. He's full of life. Well, Andy Harmon's having a good time, I think.
Yeah, Alexander
That's the second
shanks another one. It's still over there. Right where it went out of bounds.
Load of food. I think it's just a load of food waiting for someone to belly up to it, isn't it?
Well, we have some of those people.
Oh yeah, you belly up to the. Is that a buffet?
Oh. It's like a gourmet market.
I always think it's food. I always guess food. I mean, it could have just been some lighted area where people read books while the game's going on or something.
Food's a good guess, a hopeful guess.
But there was no one there eating it. That's where some of the turkey went. You know, you wonder where all the turkeys went Thursday. Some of it went in there.
1st and 10, Philadelphia at their own 45. The handoff is to Joseph. Looked like he might have something. He's cut down by Jesse Tuggle.
The thing about Jesse Tuggle is he has good quickness, and he's also a good tackler. And you know, if you can keep the blockers off him, which the Atlanta front 4 is doing here, and then Tuggle can make those tackles up and down the line of scrimmage, which he does.
For the last half dozen years, he's led this team in tackles, and he's doing it again. And Another Georgian from Valdosta State. 2nd and 10. Cunningham will throw. Drops the fade, pattern out. Fred Barnett can't catch up.
You see what they're doing now? They're putting Clay Matthews, a linebacker, down as a defensive lineman. Then he gets down over the guard, and he's running stunts. You see, here's Clay Matthews here. Now he's running stunts with Dolman. You see, so you have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. You see 57 in there? He takes 2 guys and goes to the outside, and Dolman is supposed to come underneath to go to the inside. Chris Dolman wasn't working very hard on that stunt.
3rd and long. Cunningham is down again. Kevin Ross, the safety man.
That was the old blitz was on here. You see Kevin Ross here. He starts from the outside, then he goes to the inside, and he hit that one perfectly. See, he was trying to hide outside, and just before the ball was snapped, he moved inside, and boom, hit that B-hole.
A good punt by Barker for Dan to return. Good coverage. The special teams have done their job. 7-0.
This is a parking lot today, Pat. You know, the turkey's done. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to have a hot fire.
Whoa, is that some good-looking barbecue?
Yeah. And look what it's near.
That's nice.
Right next to the gas tank. Look at that, man. Now, there's a big old thing there.
That's a good hock.
What is that?
Ham
is
hock.
that a ham hock?
Yeah.
Now, that's a big ham hock.
That clouds the screen. That's so good.
I'd like to see the ham that hock came off of. I'd like to have a slice of that old hock, too, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You always have to have beans, though, go with ham hocks.
Yes.
Ham hocks and beans. You can't beat that in rutabaga.
A little rice wouldn't hurt either. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Bert Emanuel. George was hit just as he let go.
Are you sure that was a ham hock?
No.
That was one of the biggest ham hocks I've ever seen. You see, now, this is a pattern that Jeff George is reading. See, if they come up for the short guy, he throws to the deep guy. If they both go back with the deep guy, then he throws to the short guy.
What do you think it was, a beef hock?
I don't know, but it was a big old hock.
Illegal contact. Number 30, defense. First down.
First down. Flag against Otis Smith.
Yeah, I want to identify, Pat. This has to be. I mean, this is too big to just be a hock. I mean, I would say that's a ham. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Well, it could be. I see. It looks like somebody sliced something out of the side.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can slice a hock.
That's too big to be a hock.
Here's Jeff George. Pass is intercepted by Greg Jackson. And he stayed in bounds. And the Eagles take over.
That was one of those things that Jeff George didn't read. Jackson was the safety. Jackson is playing off and he's playing deep. And you're going to see him. You see playing deep. And he's reading. And then he gets a jump. Now, I don't know why Jeff George didn't see that. Because the more Jeff George looks to his right, the more Jackson goes to the right. And George just rolling that way and looking that way brought Greg Jackson all the way over.
So it's the Philadelphia Eagles ball at the 39-yard line, 34-yard line of Atlanta. Cunningham back to throw. Throws incomplete. Intended for Fred Barnett. No flags. Incomplete.
Yeah, they had him one out there, one-on-one, and Darnell Walker, here he is, right here up on top. And again, he has that good speed, but he just couldn't get even with him. The first thing you have to do to a corner is get even with him. Then you can use that inside arm to get beyond him. Fred Barnett didn't get even with Walker before he tried to get beyond him. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does to me.
Well, you have to get up even with him, then you can use an arm to get beyond. You can't use your arm to get beyond if you don't get even.
That's James Joseph on the move. Here's Cunningham. Might have taken a little too long.
Delay. Offense.
Yeah, and you would think that that would be eliminated with that new receiver and microphone and coach to quarterback. Look at this. Drives of 4 plays or less. 6 of 7 for the Eagles. 6 of 7 for the Falcons.
Teams.
Yeah, that's we're either watching great defense here, a boring game, or bad offense. One of the 3.
2nd and 15. We could go back and watch that hawk again. Here's Cunningham. Flag on the play. Fred Barnett made the reception, but there's a penalty marker down.
Fred Barnett tried to get beyond Darnell Walker on the up. It didn't do that, and then ran a crossing pattern on that one where he could run away from him.
Illegal contact. 44. Defense is declined. First down.
44 is DJ Johnson, which would have been on the other side.
It was away from the reception.
I mean, here's Barnett. Now watch what happens when you go in the middle. When you go in the middle, you know that there's going to be a whole bunch of guys in there that are going to be grabbing not only at you, but at the ball.
You know company is coming. First down, Eagles at the 21-yard line of Atlanta. Cunningham will throw again. Pass is knocked down. Mel Agee got the hand up to knock it down.
Yeah, you're going to see Jumpy Gathers here too. Watch Jumpy Gathers and the pressure. He has that move, that arm over there, and he's always getting pressure. And you see he was there, and he made Randall Cunningham throw the ball when he wasn't really ready to, and then the ball was knocked right back at him. But you know, every player, every guard in the league talks about hating to block Jumpy Gathers.
They just shake their heads. Even his teammates don't like to block against him.
He has one move that's called a forklift.
They don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, the forklift, he just lifts you up and just walks you back to the quarterback. That was an arm over, that one there.
I'm not sure there's a penalty flag.
And that was just a timeout for the Eagles.
They were running out of time is the reason they took this one, and there was some confusion. The Falcons lead the Eagles 7-0. Randall Cunningham has been under pressure from a fierce rush by the Falcons.
Yeah, he's already been sacked 4 times, hurried twice, knocked down once, and just had a batted pass here. And again, that's going to happen when you have so many 2nd and long like we have here and 3rd and long. It seems like there's been more 3rd and 15 or 20s in this first half than I can remember any 2 teams having in a long time.
That, of course, is that situation when the defensive linemen don't worry about the run. They just take off. Here's Cunningham. Flag on the play. Cunningham leaps over the tackler, leaps for a first down, and also gets out of bounds. But there's a penalty flag down.
And that's going to be another 2nd and real long. Richie Kotite is looking to that
Every series.
play sheet. I don't know. You don't have plays for 2nd and that long or 3rd and that long.
In some cases, it's been 1st and that long.
You know what they did? They cut Jumpy Gathers that time.
Illegal
Yeah.
motion. 89.
And he's got bad ankles and
Offense.
bad knees.
Still 2nd down.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to double team him here. They're going to start. Here's Jumpy Gathers, and you're going to see Anton Davis. You see, he just tries to cut him there, and then the center comes over the top of him, Dave Alexander. That's one way that you don't get forklifted and you don't get arm over.
Second,
Cut and flop on.
2nd and 15. The forward shuffle to James Joseph. That little shovel pass, that's a familiar sight here in Atlanta, because they called a similar play against the Falcons last week and called it intentional grounding.
Yeah, that's one of the big plays and out of that run and shoot for the Falcons to Craig Hayward is that shovel pass, and like you said, against Denver, they threw the shovel pass and they didn't recognize it as a forward pass.
3rd and 8. Herschel Walker is alone back. Cunningham to throw it. Gets it up the middle to James Joseph. That'll be enough for a first down. There are no flags. It'll be 1st and goal for the Eagles at the Atlanta 9.
Yeah, now the Eagles are just starting. You know, I mean, there's 4 minutes, 52 seconds left to go in the half, and you feel that they're just starting to get a little rhythm going now. I mean, they had none at all in the first quarter and very little in the first half of this second quarter.
1st and goal from the 9. Fred Barnett checks out. Walker wants a timeout.
Well, they don't have enough guys in there. Fred
Right.
Barnett checked out and only left 10 guys in there. What the heck's going on?
I'm
It's
not
hard
sure.
enough to play with 11, but you can't do it with 10.
7-0 Atlanta.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. I think the other guy was supposed to be right there, and it was probably Charlie Gardner, because they were going with 2 tight ends up on top, a split receiver down on this side, Calvin Williams. In fact, here is the formation right now.
And except Garner's there now.
As Garner's there. So now they got 11. Now you can run the play call.
That's Garner, the ball carrier. Or was. Cunningham with a great fake. Faked everybody. Not quite. Touchdown.
Ball, please.
Yep, that was a bootleg. Remember, he tried to run that one earlier. He tried to run it to his left side, and Chris Dolman got him. And this time he's going to run a bootleg to the right. Now, in a bootleg, what you do is you fake to the backs going this way, then you go opposite of the way your backs go. You'll see him come out. You see him fake to Gardner that way, then he comes out this way. Now, he has an option here. This is an option pass or run. He could either throw it to Joseph. If Joseph is covered and they back off to cover him, he runs the ball.
About a foot away. That won't do it. That was Joseph. Brings up a 3rd and goal.
Watch the penetration here. You see up on top, there's Clay Matthews. He gets in there, and he gets the thing that made Joseph stop and go around by getting that penetration. Clay Matthews ended up about 5 yards in the Eagle backfield.
They still need about a half yard. On 3rd down. Touchdown. Cunningham.
Well, Cunningham can leap. You know, some quarterbacks will take a step and they'll try and find a gap and they'll go underneath the rush. Randall Cunningham just took the snap and went airborne. What he's going to do here is just take the snap, and instead of going underneath the pile or slide to the right or the left, just dive over the pile. Let them all go down, and you go up. Now the ball has to break the plane. It looked like the ball just barely touched the plane that time.
Just barely. Eddie Murray's extra point is good. And we have a tie score at 7-7. Both touchdowns as the result of turnovers.
And a couple big plays there by Randall Cunningham. That bootleg run, you know, that option run was a big one. And then, of course, he quarterback sneaked it in himself. But you can just feel that the Eagles, you know, didn't have anything going at all. And then they started to get a little rhythm going here at the end of the half. See, he just takes off. Now, he knows that on goal line, everyone wants to go down. You want to get down low. Your offensive linemen get down low. The defensive linemen try and get lower than the offensive linemen. And then so Randall Cunningham knows that. So he said, if they're all going to get down low, I'll just get up over them.
He came very close to not breaking that plane. But that's all you have to do.
Yeah, he just barely touched that plane.
You're looking down the line at this.
In fact, I think the Falcons lined up off sides anyway. See, again, all the ball, here's the plane. You know, it's the first plane right there, and I don't know if that makes any sense, but you go down there and you can see that it did break the plane. Because it's a, you know, it's a wide plane, but all it has to break is that first part of the wide plane.
Murray's kickoff will be short, handled by Clarence Verdun. Tackled at about the 34. Zeke Bratkowski in conference. 1st and 10 at their own 35 for the Atlanta Falcons. Jeff George, the quarterback. Crossing pattern to Ricky Sanders. 1st down Atlanta. Outside the 45, about the 47.
Remember Ricky Sanders with the Washington Redskins, caught so many passes. June Jones remembered him from the USFL and using that run and shoot and wanted him to be one of his slot backs.
1st and 10. George. Incomplete. Intended for William Thomas. Sorry, William Thomas was the defender.
William Thomas almost intercepted that ball, and had William Thomas intercepted, he would have ran it all the way.
Yep.
Watch him. He's a good linebacker. Number 51 has good speed, loves to run and cover. I mean, he was out there. He had good coverage, and it looked like the ball went right between his hands. But when you look again, he was just trying to swipe it, I think, with his right hand.
2nd and 10. Almost intercepted again by William Thomas.
And George was throwing that ball.
Flag on the play, downfield.
Yeah, Andy Harmon was right at George's feet, so George couldn't step in. He couldn't step into that ball and put anything on it. Again, because Andy Harmon was there, took that away from him. It died on him. And then William Thomas was there again in good coverage.
Here's a conference. Moving conference.
I hate these things. If they're going to do this, they ought to go back to instant replay. They really should. The officiating this year has been as bad as I can remember it in a long time.
Pass interference, defense, touchdown.
Against the Eagles. Yeah, if you're going to have a meeting to discuss it and a vote.
Yeah, what they ought to do is, I mean, call it, and then that's what it is, but you don't have to have a conference about it. I mean, that's a launch job. That guy saw something on the other side of the field, and he just launched that thing.
So it's 1st down, Atlanta, at the Eagle 38. 7-7 tie. George. Out of bounds. Mathis got a hand on it.
Yeah, we talk about William Thomas and the plays that he makes. And talking to him last night, he says that he loves these kind of games because he loves to run. And that's what the run and shoot is. They're going to be 4 wide receivers rolling out, throwing all the time. And he says this is his type of game because he's kind of a little undersized linebacker. So you see the big guys, we've seen very little of the fridge today. I mean, big old guys that, you know, plug runs and stuff don't play against run and shoot. Guys like Bert Grossman is in there now play. William Thomas, they're big when you play a run and shoot.
Because they can run. Eric Pegram. The draw play stopped by Andy Harmon. That play, that trap that they've run a couple of times, and the screen are really their running offense.
Harmon just led with his head right into the turf.
Don't forget to be with us next week at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Dallas plays these Philadelphia Eagles. Washington against Tampa Bay. Then John and I will be in San Francisco as the Falcons play at Candlestick. The Giants visit Cleveland, Green Bay, Detroit, New Orleans, the Rams, Arizona, and Houston next Sunday. Check your local listings.
Well, there's a lot of games on Fox next Sunday. There's Bobby Hebert. Bobby Hebert's in the middle there. June Jones with the headset talking to Jeff George. Now Bobby Hebert's talking to Jeff George.
He is a tough guy, Bobby Hebert.
Yep, and there's another guy who, if he got hot on you, could make a lot of plays. And there's a guy who I don't think he's played today. I don't think the Fridge is.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been in there much. Well, if the Fridge isn't sweating, he was out early. I mean, he had. I've never seen 4 X's before. He had an X, and then he cut out an X and had another X left.
3rd down. About 3. George. Incomplete. Intended for Leonard Harris. Bert Emanuel is out with a hip pointer. May or may not be back. Number 1, Jeff George. The only other number 1 that we could think of was Warren Moon. And I really can't think of another one back in the years of broadcasting and playing in the NFL.
Yeah, he said that he took number 1 because his dad told him to take number 1.
And he wanted a fresh start. Here's Norm Johnson to try from 49 yards out. He's hit 5 in a row. Make it 6 in a row from 49. Norm Johnson. And the Falcons recapture the lead. 10-7.
You know, there's a good player. The right tackle, Bob Whitfield.
Yep.
He was a number 1 draft choice out of Stanford a couple years ago, and I really liked him when he first came into this league. And then just watching him on film, he is a good pass protecting tackle. I think working on the other side of a Mike Ken helps, because came in here to a team that has a great technician as a left tackle, and Bob Whitfield is a good technician now as a right tackle.
Whitfield in his 3rd year is still just 22 years old.
Yeah, he was like he had to be like 20 years old when he came out. He's blind in one eye, and there was talk about whether or not, you know, he would be able to adjust to the pass protection and playing in the NFL. And he said it never bothered him before, and it's not bothering him now. And there's Whitfield right here, and there's Mike Ken sitting side by side. And like I said, if you're going to learn pass protection from anyone, Mike Ken would be the guy at the top of the list that you'd want to learn it from.
Whitfield is already back at Georgia Dome. It is Atlanta 10, Philadelphia 7. Coming up on the Dockers halftime, James and Terry will have all of today's scores and highlights from around the league. Plus, we'll look at the NFL's most spectacular plays in the latest edition of Choice Cuts. All coming up next on the Dockers halftime.
I think that choice cut means how they're going to cut that ham hock out there in the thing. How they're going to slice that.
Well,
that'll be a choice cut.
Maybe there
it is again. Look, you just start slicing, like right down here, slicing right. You just slice the meat right off the bone.
But you're cutting right through the bone.
No. I was slicing against the bone.
Oh. 3 wide receivers. And chased as Cunningham, and down as Cunningham. Jumpy Gathers and Chris Dolman played a little game.
Yeah, Jumpy Gathers doesn't do a lot of that. I mean, he's usually a straight ahead rusher. You're going to see, here's Dolman, here's Jumpy Gathers right there. Dolman goes to the inside, Gathers comes to the outside, and he finds the quarterback.
That's the 5th sack on Cunningham. 1:52 left in the first half. Johnny Greer.
Illegal contact, 39, defense, first down.
Wipe out that sack. It's against Eric Jack.
Yeah, Eric Jack is up on top, number 39, right there. I don't know what is illegal about that. Boy, they made up one there. There was nothing illegal there. You didn't have contact in the first 5 yards, and he was just run into. That was a bad call.
Cunningham chased out of the pocket again. Chased by Pierce Holt. Down by Pierce Holt. Incomplete. Fred Barnett took a shot from Jesse Tuggle.
Jesse Tuggle's all over the field. I mean, he's against the run. Here he is, number 58. You see, he's reading Cunningham, reading, and then watch him take off when the ball is thrown. He just takes off, and he goes half for the ball and half for Fred Barnett. Watch Jesse Tuggle go up in the air. I mean, he got half of Barnett, and he got a little of the ball.
And he got a little of it himself, too.
Yeah, that's what you call reckless abandon.
2nd and 10. Cunningham has a pass complete to Herschel Walker. That'll bring up a 3rd and about 4. Pierce Hope back with Walker. 10-7, the Falcons lead.
Yeah, we talked about Andy Harmon on one side. Pierce Holt's having a pretty good day for himself. He's been all over Randall Cunningham today.
Cunningham incomplete behind Victor Bailey. And incomplete. And they'll have to punt again.
Now that was a bad throw there because Victor Bailey was running a hook or an in pattern, and he was coming one way, and Cunningham kind of threw it behind him where Bailey couldn't continue going the way he was going.
Clarence Verdun back. Parker's punt is a good one again. Verdun finally handles, and the coverage is down in good shape. Mark Woodard leading the Philadelphia Charge down to cover that punt. 10-7 Atlanta. 1:03 remain in the first half.
You know, there's a guy, Clay Matthews there, number 57. We talked about him playing 17 years in this game.
Yeah.
His brother Bruce Matthews plays for the Houston Oilers. I remember his dad, Clay Matthews Sr., when he played for the 49ers. And when you talk to Clay Matthews Jr., the word that he keeps saying is that he just enjoys football. You say, why do you play so long? And he just laughs and said, because I enjoy it.
I still enjoy playing. I still enjoy what I'm doing. And what's wrong with that?
Now, I think that's the key to it. I mean, I think as long as you enjoy what you do, you just keep doing it.
Greg Hayward is back with Jeff George, who wings it up the middle to Ricky Sanders to the 43. First down, Atlanta. Zordich made the stop. Clock running at 50 seconds left.
Atlanta still has one timeout. Want to get about 2 more completions and a field goal try here.
George with time. Mathis gets out of bounds, and he will stop the clock.
I'll tell you one thing about Jeff George. He can get rid of the ball quickly when he has to. I mean, he went back. He took his eyes off his receivers, looked at the rush, came back up, and whipped that thing out of there.
He looks casual doing it, too, doesn't he?
That's him. He's in a shotgun. He looks down. You see him there. He looked down at the rush. Then he looked back up. He found Mathis here, and he just whipped it into him. This is what you call a quick release. He kind of slung that one sidearm.
Perfect. 31 seconds left. They still have one timeout. George back to throw it. That's to Ricky Sanders. Down to the 21.
Atlanta still has one timeout left. They have their field goal position now. Now they can go for a shot at a touchdown before they kick the field goal.
They take a timeout. And Jeff George comes to the sideline. At the Georgia Dome, Atlanta 10, the Eagles 7. Falcons down in field goal range now for Norm Johnson. Jeff George set to return to the huddle. Very casual back in that pocket. Doesn't panic.
You know, you wonder if down here somewhere he's not going to take a shot to Andre Rison. Andre Rison hasn't caught a pass today. Mathis is his favorite receiver, but down inside the 20, Rison is a favorite receiver.
Played defensively by Eric Allen. There's that shovel pass to Hayward. And the Eagles had it.
Of all the stupid plays to run, yeah. They have no timeout, so they're going to have to down it here.
It was an incomplete pass. Why didn't the clock stop already?
Yeah, the clock should have stopped.
Yeah.
But I mean, you would think when you got down to 20 seconds and you had no timeouts that if you were going to take a shot, you would take a shot at the end zone.
You'd think so.
And then either your guy get it or the other guy gets it.
Now this is a forward pass. Why didn't the clock stop?
Well, the clock should have stopped.
No, that's a grounder.
I know.
The play before.
It was a play before. Yeah, the clock should have stopped.
Johnson will try from 40 yards out this time. Again, he's good. And it's 13-7.
Yeah, here's that play that they didn't stop the clock. As you say, it's a shovel pass. It's a forward pass. That's a forward pass.
Well, he made a reception. Maybe that's.
He caught it and then went down, and then they had to take the. They had to get up and stop the clock because he caught the pass.
That was okay. I thought he didn't catch it. Halftime at Georgia Dome. Atlanta 13, Philadelphia 7. That's the end of the first half with the score. Atlanta 13, the Eagles 7. Stay tuned for the Dockers halftime as Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station. Halftime score, Atlanta 13, Philadelphia 7. This first half highlight is brought to you by MCI Proof Positive, the only Atlanta touchdown.
Well, it's Terence Mathis up there. You see he's in the slot, man-to-man. He's going to make a couple real good moves. Boom, 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 like that. And then he just runs a quick out. Jeff George hits him right there. Otis Smith didn't have a chance.
Hey, you know, John, we were wondering in the first half about what kind of meat that was, that hawk we saw. We thought, well, like true investigative reporters that we are, we went to the source, and we found out what it is.
What was that big old thing?
Look at that, man. Huh?
Oh, doesn't that look good?
That's South Georgia ham right there.
You tell John to come down here. Without cook John, I guarantee you.
That's what it's from.
South Georgia ham. Now, I was born not too far from South Georgia. I have smelled what they smell like a lot of times, and it takes me back.
Good?
Very good. Very good.
Is there a difference between like a South Georgia ham and a mid or North Georgia ham?
Oh, yeah. You may have to do the second half by yourself.
You're going down there.
Yeah. Clarence Verdun hit by the Eagles at about the 22. Hit by Ken Rose. Jeff George. How he rolls when he rolls.
Well, you know, every time it's going to be some kind of roll. So you can see in the first half he rolled 10 times to the right side, and he threw to that side 9 times. In other words, roll right, throw right, and he rolled right and threw to the backside 1 time. Then he rolled to the left 5 times, and then of those 5 times, he threw to the front side 5 times. So most of the time, he is rolling and throwing to the side that he rolls to.
I would say that's a tendency. William Perry is playing on first down now. Jeff George, quick pass. Ricky Sanders out of the slot. Atlanta first down.
Yeah, that's the thing that Bud Carson was worried about last night. You know, is when you play him with nickel, you don't cover every one of those wide receivers, and they can just hit one on that first down because he doesn't have all the wide receivers covered on that thing. And that time he just hit Sanders on the slot, and Sanders was the uncovered wide receiver of the 4.
Well, they got the same situation defensively now, but the trips are to the left. 3 wide receivers. Hand on to Pegram to the right.
That's why Fridge is in there. Fridge is in there because he's fresh. And one thing you can't do, there's 2 things you can't do to Fridge, number 90. You can't run at him, and you can't run away and cut back.
It's going to be against Atlanta.
Yeah, watch him here. You see, I mean, that guy starts down. He just starts right down. There's no cut back there. You go to cut back, and you're going to cut right back into 90.
And you might be lost. Penalty, and here's again referee Johnny
Holding,
Greer.
70, offense. Still first down.
Call against Bob Whitfield, still first down. Here we go again like we began. First and very long. First and 20.
Yeah, Bob Whitfield ought to get a new shield on there. I mean, that thing's all cracked. There's no way he can see out of that thing. He only has one good eye, and he's not going to be able to see out of either one of them. Maybe he doesn't want to see.
Maybe he stood close to that South Georgia ham during the half. Here is Ricky Sanders hit by Greg Jackson and a late flag. Let's see what they do.
That's one of those, sometimes you get too fired up before a game or at halftime, and you come out and you're a little too emotional.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness after the play, number 47 defense. First down.
And I think this penalty comes in that area, Pat. You know, where you talk, okay, we have to hit, we have to do this, we have to do that. Greg Jackson just got Ricky Sanders after the ball was beyond him.
And it's going to be a first down, Atlanta.
You know, it's tough, though. You know, I mean, Greg Jackson's a free safety. He's back there, and by the way, he's playing very well for this Eagle team. But you see the ball, you zero in on a guy, and you go to get him, and you know, you get there a little after the ball gets there sometimes. When you play that in regular speed, that didn't look as late as it does in slow motion. There's a Warrior. Look at that. They just put a pad right on over the shirt. Whatever you got, you just pad it up.
Wherever you need it.
He was a good player with the Giants. Yeah. Greg Jackson was, and he's become a better player, I think, with this Eagle defense.
Given more responsibility, I think. But after a conference, the situation is still the same. First and 10 Atlanta at their own 39. There. Ready patches.
Yeah, they just have whatever you need. You need gloves, patches, elbows, hands, arms.
George going to throw back left after he rolled right. Rising out of bounds at the 12. They finally got him.
It is like you say, he hasn't caught a pass all day. That was a roll right and throwback. Jeff George rolled to his right. Andre Rison is on the left against Eric Allen. He just does this with speed.
Yep.
I mean, he just runs right by Eric Allen. In fact, Eric Allen looked like he gave up a little on that one. Now watch Jeff George roll right. You see him come here to the right side, boom, stop, and then throw back to the left side. Up over Eric Allen, and the safety couldn't get there.
On first down, pass is picked off. It was deflected first. Romanowski came back with it and intercepted it.
I think they get the big play to Rison. Watch Townsend here, Pat. He's the guy that deflects it. I don't know that it didn't. No, it wasn't even. It was Mike Kennedy.
Yeah.
He just threw that so low that hit Ken in the back of the helmet. I thought it hit Townsend in the helmet.
Hit Mike Ken, bounced straight up in the air. Romanowski came back with it. Here's Romanowski, who made the interception. Look how it happened.
Yeah, watch this. Pat, the ball, you see the uncovered guy is Terence Mathis. He's right here, and George tries to get to him so quickly, throws it sidearm, and he just hits Mike Ken right in the head.
And the ball went straight up in the air. Romanowski came down with it. That's Herschel Walker. He can still run. Walker. He said he was still fast, the fastest, and nobody caught him after a 91-yard ramble.
We were talking last night about his speed, and he says they used to test me. He said, I'm the fastest, and he said, but now they don't even test me anymore.
Not even winded.
That was a career run for Herschel Walker. Yeah, and he's in such great shape. I mean, he does like 5,000 sit-ups a day and thousands of push-ups and runs. Even in two-a-days, he would run before and after practice in addition to the two-a-day practices.
That is an Eagle record and Herschel Walker's individual record. The extra point by Eddie Murray is good. And the Eagles lead it by a point. To kick off. And again, Clarence Verdin and Eric Pegram back deep. Wilkins is 14. His kick is short. Will be handled at the 11 by Verdin. And Clarence Verdin almost broke it outside to the 34. The touchdown again.
That's Roger. We're going to see Lester Holmes here. He makes the block. That's 10% of it. He makes the block that frees Herschel Walker initially. Then Fred Barnett gets a little block. Boom, right there. There's Holmes. That creates a hole. Right there, whatever that is, that was Fred Barnett. And the rest of it's Herschel Walker.
And speed. Nobody's gaining.
Well, Herschel Walker told us last night, he says, we have to get selfish now. We have to say that, give us the ball, let us make the play.
I'm going to do it.
In fact, Herschel Walker had a meeting with his teammates this week.
Flag on the play. Ricky Sanders made the catch.
It just seems like
the discussion is about here.
It just seems like the Falcons, every time they get something started or do anything, there's a penalty or
holding. 72 offense. Still first down.
Zandowski.
The guy gets hit in the helmet or something, or Zandowski, that's his second or third. There's Herschel Walker. He does, I said he did 5,000 I gave him too many sit-ups. He says he does 2,000 sit-ups a day.
5 sounds good, though.
Yeah, but when he's breaking records and running and no one's catching him, what the heck? You give him 5,000 sit-ups, runs all day. But he's in great shape. Yeah. That's the point.
The Eagles by 1. The Falcons have the ball. Jeff George up the middle. Pass is caught by Terence Mathis. What a catch. What a catch. 36-yard gain, but look at this.
This Terence Mathis, he's done everything today. I mean, he's been open short, he's been open middle, he's been open deep. Here, that's double coverage. There's double coverage. He just runs right through double coverage. And Jeff George hits him perfectly. This guy's a heck of a player, this Terence Mathis. I mean, he looks like he's having fun out there, too.
1st and 10 Atlanta at the Philadelphia 41. Blitz coming. George gets rid of it. Flag on the play. McMillan on Leonard Harris.
I think when McMillan runs like that, he knows that the penalty's against him. He didn't stand there to argue it.
Pass interference. 29 defense. First down.
He knows that he's not even going to go back to the huddle. Here's 29, McMillan there. You're going to see him covering on the slant. He backs off. The slant starts in. He starts in, and he just get there a little before the ball got there.
Here's the blitz.
Yep, and they picked that up well, or well enough to let Jeff George get rid of the ball before Bill Romanowski hit him.
First down, Atlanta at the Philadelphia 31. Eric Pegram is back with George. A blitz was coming again, and the Falcons hurried up a bit, and they might have been called for illegal motion.
False start. 78 offense prior to the snap. Still first down.
78 is Mike Ken.
Yeah, that's the definition of shooting yourself in the foot, and the Falcons have been doing it all day.
Yeah.
In fact, they've probably been doing this all year. That has to, that's a coach killer. I mean, you get something going, and then there's a penalty. You get something going, and then there's a penalty. And some of them, maybe they argue against they weren't penalties, but some of them you just have to do. I mean, that's just discipline.
1st and 15. Pegram takes the handoff, hits the ground, and he's down for loss. Romanowski again. Pegram is down. He'd been hurt, just come back, but I think he's okay.
Romanowski's making his presence felt now. We talked about in the nickel defense where the Eagles are using 5 defensive backs. They're only using 2 linebackers, the 2 linebackers being William Thomas and Bill Romanowski. Watch Romanowski here. I mean, he comes there and he's been around the ball. I mean, anytime anything happens, Bill Romanowski's there.
You go with him.
2nd down. George back. Look left. He's got room right. Throws right to Leonard Harris, who makes the reception inside the 15, about the 13. 1st down, Atlanta.
The thing about this Jeff George, he can slip a ball in there. I mean, and he's pretty good on the run. I mean, here he starts. He sees Harris starts inside. Now Harris is reading. Harris reads coverage. He reads that George is rolling to his right. So then Harris just moves back to his right, too. So he is going to the sideline, the same side that Jeff George is rolling to or has been escaped to.
That's a tough catch the way he made it with his right hand on top.
Made it upside down.
Yeah. The handoff is to Pegram. He ain't got much room. Out of bounds for a loss. He's back to about the 16. Otis Smith took him out of bounds.
Yeah, if you don't hit that draw quickly and get it up inside and get through guys like the Fridge right now, you aren't going to be able to bounce it out because they got all those defensive backs that are going to catch you.
Hayward checks in. Pegram checks out. June Jones calls the plays. He and Mouse Davis sort of refined this offense, the run and shoot. It was supposed to be the offense of the future, but there's been a lot of question marks about it.
That's another penalty.
Yep.
I don't know if they're having problem hearing.
Prior to the snap, number 70 offense.
Well, it isn't the crowd, I'm sure of that.
No, it shouldn't be if they don't understand or they don't hear the snap count in the huddle or whatever. But on this drive, the left tackle, Mike Ken, jumped once. And that time it was the right tackle, Bob Whitfield.
They've been penalized 10 times today.
And again, those things to me were always just concentration. I mean, that's just concentration and discipline, the snap count. I mean, you have to know that.
Here's Jeff George back to throw. Gets it over to Ironhead. Ironhead stays on his feet down into about the 7. Craig Hayward.
I'll tell you one thing, though. They have these penalties, and they keep that, and then they just keep coming back. And the last time they were down here, Jeff George hit Mike Ken in the head, or they would have had a score then. They were going in to score.
This is the place inside the 20, the so-called red zone, where this offense comes under criticism.
That's where everyone thought they'd have the problem because there's no tight end to get any off-tackle plays or any lead play.
No lead blocker. George. Touchdown, Mathis. He can slip a ball in there, as you said.
And Terence Mathis can get himself in position to have the ball slipped in there. This guy is putting on a show today.
Is he ever? So is this guy, number 1.
Well, Jeff George doesn't always have to throw it overhand. I mean, he'll throw it anyway. He sees it's not a perfect spiral, but he sees a guy, and he's going to get it right in there. The Falcons are going to go for 2 here, Pat.
Mathis has 7 catches for 101 yards. 7 today. That gives him 87 on the year. That's pretty good. They're going to go for 2, as you said. George to throw it. Flag on the play. Flags everywhere. Andre Rison all upset.
You got something that includes an official's hat. Official threw a flag, and then a hat comes out. A hat means the guy stepped out of bounds right behind the end line. Remember the old days when a guy'd call a penalty and they'd say that's a penalty?
And you accept it and you played.
We have 2 fouls on the defense. 12 men on the field and pass interference number 21. 12 men on the field will be declined. The pass interference will be accepted. The ball is placed on the 1-yard line.
You watch the lower left of the screen here. You'll see that the ball's in the air, and you see Andre Rison being pushed there before the ball gets there by Eric Allen. So that was a penalty there. And in addition to that, they had 12 guys on the field. So now the ball, instead of being on the 2-yard line for the 2-point try, the ball is on the 1-yard line. Most teams would run this situation.
Well, but they only have one running back, Big Craig Hayward. Mathis for 2. How did he ever get away from anybody?
I don't know, but he just made 8 points.
Yeah. Atlanta 21, Philadelphia 14.
Watch Terence Mathis here, Pat. He gives these moves before. You see, just boom, 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 and then just runs that quick out again.
Yeah.
I used to always tell guys that was a waste of time. Don't give moves when you're still on the line of scrimmage. But Terence Mathis has proved me wrong today. That's been effective for him.
Yeah.
He just starts shaking. Go boom, 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 and then he runs a pattern.
Kickoff sailing down and out of bounds. Tyner's kickoff goes out of bounds. There's Terence Mathis. 15 catches, 264 yards, 4 touchdowns. That 1 2-point conversion for a total of 26 points for Terence Mathis in the last 2 weeks.
And as you said, how did the Jets let go of him? And then the other half of that is Jeff George. I mean, he's been impressive today, and then he's really done some strange things.
Yeah. He just looks so casual doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he does. I mean, he would just, I think he would probably drive you crazy if he's on your team, and he'd drive you crazy if you were defending him.
Herschel Walker gets the carry. Walker bounces around for about 5, stopped by Ken Tippins.
But Herschel Walker had a meeting with some of his teammates, and he said, you know, that it's to the point now where we have to take it. You know, they're talking about Rich Kotite might not be back, Jeff Lurie may fire the coach, all these things. He said, the players have to take it. And he said, we have to come up with a thing where we get selfish, where we want the ball. Give us the ball. Let me win the game for you.
James Joseph joins Walker in the backfield. And Joseph gets the carry. Flag on the play. Joseph got about 3, stopped by Dolman.
And that's in the area of offensive holding, and it is offensive holding. Rich Kotite, you see him looking at that play chart. I wonder if he was looking for a play for 5 yards or a play for 15.
Holding, 78, offense, still second down.
Antone Davis. The Eagles have penalized 8 times. That's to stretch your calf muscles and your Achilles tendon. You don't use that for walking. Mark McMillan maybe he's trying to be taller.
Yeah. Mark McMillan, he had that penalty on him there. He didn't even go back to the huddle after that play. He just not stretched out.
2nd and 15. Cunningham goes deep. Incomplete. And no flag from anywhere.
Darnell Walker, the defensive back, wanted offensive pass interference on Fred Barnett. We're seeing more and more of this. Barnett down here in the bottom of the screen. Once the ball's in the air, the defensive guy can't hit him, but the offensive guy can't hit him either. And that was just a little inside elbow. Watch it right there. You see him? Fred Barnett gets the inside elbow up over Walker's shoulder. Walker was right on that. But I think a lot of that stuff they have to let go. You get the ball downfield, there's going to be bumping.
3rd and 15. Long count by Cunningham, and the Falcons jumped offside. Chased by Geathers. The officials looked down. One official looked downfield for help, and now he says it's a catch. Free play for Philadelphia. Calvin Williams made the reception.
You know, it's an interesting thing, though, Pat. It was 3rd down. They give Calvin Williams a reception there. They say he was in bounds. That right foot is in. The left foot looks awfully close, but it's not going to be a 1st down.
Short of a 1st down by about a yard.
Yeah, so do they turn down the penalty and then have 4th down, or do they take the penalty and then have to make up that yardage again?
I think I take the penalty.
Offside, left side of the defensive line. It's declined.
I'm wrong.
4th down.
Yeah, because it would have gone back. It would have gone all the way back to the original line of scrimmage.
4th down. They got to go for it now that they took the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of favor you, but I mean, they had so far to go for it that that's what they had to do.
And now they take a timeout, maybe to think it over.
I think they're going to have to punt.
Now the Eagles have decided that they're going to punt.
Now, that was an interesting decision. They turned down the penalty, which brought up 4th down. Then they had a punt, but they wanted to keep the 14-yard reception that Calvin Williams had. But again, if it doesn't give you the 1st down, you're better to go back to the original line of scrimmage, take the 5-yard penalty, and it's still 3rd down.
Herschel Walker's the up back in this punting formation. He has been all day. That's not new. And here's the punt. Burden signals for a fair catch. Makes it at about the 13. Don't forget, next week, join Terry, Howie, JB, and Jimmy at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for the #1 pregame show in America. Then Fox NFL Sunday continues with doubleheader action beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, as most of you will see the Cowboys battle the Eagles. Others will see Washington take on Tampa Bay. And at 4 o'clock Eastern, John and I will be in San Francisco as the Falcons face the 49ers in an NFC West matchup. In other games, Giants travel to Cleveland. Green Bay tackles Detroit. Saints play the Rams. Arizona is at Houston. Check your local listings for the games in your area right here on Fox Sports. Atlanta ball, 1st and 10. Their own 12-yard line. George Latour. He throws out of the pocket. Flag on the play. Right back at the line of scrimmage, a penalty marker.
And Andy Harmon was the guy chasing Jeff George.
That preliminary signal confused me a little bit.
Well, it's roughness. It's a form of unnecessary roughness against the Falcons.
Johnny Greer again.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 34 offense, chop block. Still 1st down.
A chop instead of a chip.
Yeah, you can chip if you block them above the waist. A chop is when you block them below the waist. You'll just see him. See if he comes in there and chops him. You see, in fact, it was against Andy Harmon.
Yep. 1st and 17. That's Craig Hayward, who stumbles out to about the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit more.
You know, but I thought you could do that as long as the guy wasn't engaged.
I thought so too.
Yeah. I mean, where another guy was blocking him. I mean, you can come in there and you can chip him. If a guy is being blocked, you can hit him high, but you can't come in and hit him low if he is engaged being blocked by another guy. But Andy Harmon looked like he was just free, and on that, I mean, a guy can come in and cut a defensive lineman.
2nd and 9. looks like a change of the play as the clock is down to 2 seconds. You got to hurry. Just did get it off. Risen gets it out of bounds, and that's the first down. Good throw by Jeff George.
You see Andre Rison, he didn't look for the ball until right at the end. Again, it is an audible. And he sees man coverage out there, not only man coverage, but tight coverage, and he just throws it up over to the outside. You see Rison beats him right there, then he just looks the ball right into his hands.
First down, Atlanta. Falcons lead 21-14. 5:45 left to play in the third quarter by the time they step in. Blitz coming. George got it out of there. Terence Mathis took a glance upfield before the ball arrived.
That's one thing that George could do. As you said, he can get it out of there. He can get it out of there quickly, and he can get it out of there at different angles. You know, a lot of people have to get back and have to set their feet and have to have everything going in the right way. But Jeff George looks like he can be going any which way. I mean, he can be going right and throwing left, going left and throwing right.
Throwing straight back?
Oh, yeah. Hit his tackle in the head. I mean, he can bring that thing, fling it from any angle.
2nd and 10. And off to Hayward. Outside the 30, the 31. Stopped by Bert Grossman.
Yeah, this is what the Eagles are trying to do with with Bert Grossman in there and not having the fridge in there. They're trying to get their faster guys. You know, they got Bert Grossman, a pass rusher from the San Diego Chargers in the offseason. And, you know, he comes in on pass rush situations as a defensive end. And then Greg Townsend moves to defensive tackle. And the Eagles are kind of playing a pass rush or a pass package the whole game on defense.
Showing a little bit of a blitz package now. George read it. Fires complete to Leonard Harris.
Boy, and that's tough. Mark McMillan is right there. Earlier, this is a tough thing. If you watch your corner here, if you hit before the ball gets there, it's interference. And if you hit right at the time the ball gets there, the guy makes a catch. So you think of the tough things in this league, being on an island as a cornerback are one of the toughest things you have to do.
One of the most important things you have to do or have is the ability to forget.
You can't have any kind of memory at all.
George. Mathis. Down by William Thomas. Passing comparisons. The Eagle offense, the Falcon offense rather, 4th in the NFL. The Eagle defense 3rd. Atlanta has 288 yards throwing today.
Yeah, because they found a good combination in Terence Mathis, and they haven't used Andre Rison that much.
The Eagles are crowding that line of scrimmage again.
And Jeff George was pointing out here to Andre Rison. He was talking, and now he's going to come out and talk to him.
And he takes a timeout. 3:27 left, third quarter. Back at Georgia Dome. That's not the dome. That's just the trunk. Full of goodies. Happy holidays. Foot fingers. What's that? Extra sleeves.
Yeah, remember in the old days when they just bring out a water bucket or a hose and stuff? And
maybe some tape.
Doesn't that one thing have foot fingers?
Yeah. I don't know what. I have no idea what that is.
Like a ham hock.
I knew what that was. Here's Jeff George. Rison makes the catch.
Bud Carson mixes up his defenses all the time, and that time that was a zone where Eric Allen, instead of covering against Andre Rison man, he backed up in his zone, and then they brought the Greg Jackson, the strong safety or the free safety, over.
Bud Carson's page full of notes is a little wrinkled.
Yeah, Bud Carson says he's been coaching defense or been coaching for 40 years, He's never seen a better screen pass than the Falcons have.
3rd and short. Trips right. George goes left to Rison. At the 35, Eric Allen. Out there on an island by himself.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and it looks like every time Jeff George sees that and sees Eric Allen out there by himself that he's going to go out there. He just looks. You see him come back. When he doesn't turn, when he just comes straight back like that, that means he's going to throw to his left. And he's just going to lay that right up over Eric Allen and right into Andre Rison. Andre Rison tried to break that thing there. Eric Allen tried to go for the ball. But the Falcons started working Terence Mathis early, and now they look like they're getting Andre Rison into the game.
They have it 1st and 10 at the Eagle 35. George back to throw again. Steps through a tackler, gets the ball upfield to Mathis. They say he caught it. The Eagles say he didn't, and now he's in the end zone.
Well, the officials are pointing down there that he had it, and they're pointing at that point there, so they're going to spot it there. I think he could have thrown that one to Andre Rison, too. I think Andre Rison was free.
Well, he's supposed to be down as a result of contact. If it is a reception, he could have gotten up and run.
If the whistle didn't blow.
If the whistle didn't blow.
You see, Mathis is the inside guy. He's the slot. It looks like right here he could have thrown it to Andre Rison for a touchdown. He threw it short. Mathis catches it there. I don't know that anyone touched him. Maybe he just gave himself up. Or Jackson may have touched him with his foot.
Maybe.
But I bet the whistle blew anyway.
Hayward is the ball carrier on the next play.
And I think there's something to that. You know, when you just stay there, there's a point where you give yourself up and the referees, the officials just blow the whistle. But I think that he had Andre Rison open for a touchdown on
both
that
open.
play.
William Fuller is the man down.
They're checking that rib area. I wonder if he got one of those chip blocks by Ironhead Hayward.
Well, I'd say so. He probably did, except Ironhead had the ball.
So then, unless he chipped him before he got the ball. But it could have been a result of a chip on the play before that.
Could have been.
On the one Terence Mathis caught. Because as you say, here's Ironhead here. He's going to carry the ball this time. And you see it was Ironhead, though, and it was a chip, but Ironhead had the ball. That's exactly what happened. Ironhead was running with the ball, and he sees Fuller coming, and he just put his right shoulder back in and chipped him.
It's a running chip, but you can't do that running chop.
Yeah, well, he did. I mean, they called him for an illegal chop, which was really a good block.
Tell you what, that
earlier.
Ironhead, you talked to him, as we mentioned earlier, we talked with him yesterday. Did you ever see a happier looking guy? Happy with himself?
Yeah, I think basically being happy here in Atlanta and being happy with himself. And, you know, and feeling good about himself and feeling good about what he's doing and feeling good about what he's done.
Yeah. He said, I'm a person I once knew long ago. And there's a person that I was that I don't want to be anymore. 7 carries for 45 yards today for. He almost looks not even like the guy we knew. Looks so much thinner and in such much better shape.
Well, he is in a lot better shape. And before, when he weighed over 300 pounds, you know, he was always puffier. You know, he was always, you know, filled out. I mean, those cheeks filled out that face mask more than they do now.
They say in the offseason, maybe he'll get down a little bit lower.
Yeah,
I don't think he ought to lose too much.
Well, he'd like to get down into 250s. One thing he'd like to do is lengthen those arms. That when he was 325, he had short arms, and now when he's 265, he said he still can't do anything about those short arms.
I guess that's one thing he can't work on. He's the lone setback. George. Mathis inside the 5.
I don't know how that guy gets open all the time. I mean, he's just reading exactly what Jeff George does. There was an example of roll left and throw back. And you just see him. He's over here. George is going to roll left and then throw back right to this point. You see that? See the roll? This is a little roll left. Mathis comes underneath, reads the defense, and just stops. See, Thomas was there, and instead of running into Thomas or beyond Thomas, he just stopped.
That's the secret of this offense. The quarterback and receiver on the same page. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Atlanta 21, Philadelphia 14. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
Back at Georgia Dome, Atlanta 21, Philadelphia 14, the end of three quarters.
The Falcons at the Eagle 5. Both teams came into this game saying, we've got to win this one. Can't happen both ways. Right now, the Falcons appear to be on the road to becoming a 500 team going to San Francisco next week. 3rd and 2. Craig Hayward is alone back behind Jeff George. Changing the play.
81 Dallas.
Hayward. Touchdown.
Saw that. He probably counted 5 in the box. He audibleized to 81 Dallas. 81 Dallas. That was a draw play to Ironhead Hayward.
Successful. Johnson for the extra point. Ball bounced. The holder did a good job, and the extra point is good. Harold Alexander, the holder. Here's the touchdown.
81 Dallas. Draw right. Touchdown.
(28-14) Atlanta. Scott Shiner to kick off. On Hebron and Herschel Walker back deep. It's going to be Walker at the 9. Reverse coming. Otis Smith.
And let's watch his touchdown again, and we'll see Jeff George is reading. Then he can read after the snap or before the snap and audibilize. And let's listen to how he does that. What he did, he saw that dime defense in there, and he went to 81 Dallas, which was his sprint draw to Ironhead Hayward.
There was a holding penalty on the kickoff, so the Eagles move back to their own 5-yard line. Herschel Walker, the deep back. James Joseph in motion. Cunningham fires to his tight end Maurice Johnson. Stopped by Jesse Tuggle. June Jones, the Atlanta coach, talking to the two guys who've been in this league a long time. 17 years, both of them.
Look at that time of possession. That's one of the things the Eagles wanted to get, is control the ball, time of possession, get the running game going. They didn't do it.
Cunningham again, outside Fred Barnett. Barnett nudged out of bounds by D.J. Johnson.
The Eagles came into this game without Mark Bavaro. In fact, they didn't even bring Mark Bavaro, so they only had one tight end, Maurice Johnson. They wanted to, we talked about get the running game going. They also wanted to get the ball to the tight end a little more. And without Bavaro, that's a little tougher. And that was the first pass 2 plays ago that Maurice Johnson caught.
1st and 10. Cunningham back to throw. Maybe. Sacked around the corner by Chuck Smith.
That's a new one. I'm not sure what that move is there at the end, but there's Chuck Smith here. See Thompson come out against him. He just runs right by him. I mean, that's not much of a pass protection there. I mean, he just ran right by Broderick Thompson. But I don't know what that move where you just do the dirt or the
I know you got
carpet or something.
You got to be flexible to do that. 2nd and 19. Cunningham back to throw it again. Gets it up the middle to James Joseph. Back to the original line of scrimmage, just about. Jesse Tuggle made the stop.
Yeah, that's the Eagles' problem today. They've been spending a lot of time on 1st and 2nd down, getting back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And not being able to get down the field for 1st downs. I mean, they just keep getting back to the original line of scrimmage.
And it's 3rd and 9. They wind up in that situation, as you pointed out, too many times. Cunningham fires incomplete, intended for Joseph. Scott Case up the defender.
And that's what you can't do, is just throw those little short passes up. Excuse me, let's watch Jumpy Gathers here, number 97. And you'll see what he does there. He just makes a move. I mean, that was just terrible there. I mean, he just goes by the guard and picks the center up and throws him right into the quarterback. I mean, he went by Lester Hunt. Yeah. I don't know what Holmes was doing. Then he took Alexander and put him right into Cunningham.
Barker, line drive kick, juggled and handled finally by Clarence Verdun, but there's a yellow flag. Surprise, surprise on the play. That one's way out of bounds. Against the Eagles. Can't figure why the flag was so far out of bounds.
Falcons lead the Eagles. There is Bubby Brister, who did a superb job down the stretch last year for the Eagles. They almost made the playoffs. 1st and 10. Hayward alone back. Hayward gets the carry. Swarmed on by the Eagles.
Yeah, if we look again at this running shoot, every pass is a rollout. So Jeff George has rolled out to his right 21 times. And of those 21 times, he's thrown 16 to the front side, the side he's rolled to, and 5 to the back side. So he still throws most of the time to the side he rolls to when he goes right. Now, when he's gone left, he's rolled left 7 times, and he's thrown all 7 to the front side. So he's never rolled left yet and thrown back.
2nd and 12. He tries to get behind those offensive tackles. This is Hayward again. And there's nothing there again. And there's a flag I think I saw coming flying in at the end again.
One thing, it's tough to run a draw. You know, I said it's tough to run at William Perry. It's tough to cut back into him. And it's tough to run a draw at him because he's going to be on the line of scrimmage. William Perry is not going to be flying upfield.
No. Face mask violation against the Eagles. It's on William Perry.
Number 90, defense.
Yep.
Still 2nd down.
Yeah, he just put his right hand out there and grabbed his whole helmet. It wasn't just that. That's what he's saying. I didn't grab any face mask. I was just grabbing the guy. And the guy's named Ironhead.
He didn't know it.
No, Ironhead didn't know it. Perry didn't know it.
2nd and 6.
And they were teammates with the Bears.
George fakes to Hayward. Gets it out 5 to Ricky Sanders. It makes a one-handed catch. And Atlanta gets the 1st down. Stopped by Zordich.
Yeah, that's the other thing they do in this run and shoot. They roll right and roll left, and they also bootlegger waggle. And this is a bootlegger waggle. On the side of the roll, the back goes to the same side of waggle. The back goes away. That time the back went away. George came out to the right and hit Ricky Sanders.
Ricky Sanders, who had so many outstanding years as a member of the Redskins, part of the posse.
What a great group of receivers that was. Art Monk, Gary Clark.
All gone now. Hayward. Iron head. Won't go down. Gets to about the 41. Greg Townsend finally got him off his feet.
William Thomas gets over there, and he just kind of runs right over Thomas. What you're going to see number 51 come into the picture, gets through the line. Watch him right there. I mean, that doesn't even bother old Ironhead.
No.
If you don't hit Ironhead, but underneath those knees, below, between the knees and the toes, you aren't going to get him down that easily. I mean, you're going to bounce. He's going to bounce you back to where you just came from.
He's going to always bounce forward, too. Second down. Hayward by Harmon and Thomas behind the line of scrimmage.
No, they didn't get that one. They didn't get that trap that time. You know, Ironhead wants to make it to the Pro Bowl as a fullback, and in the voting, he noticed he was in some store where they were voting, and they had him listed as a halfback.
Well,
he wants to be listed as a fullback. He said he's listed there with Emmett Smith and Barry Sanders and all those guys. He said he wants to be listed with those fullbacks.
The biggest halfback of all time.
Well, when you're only one back, you know, you can call him whatever you want to call him.
Whatever. Third down, they have about 4 for a first. George, I guess it slipped out of his hand. He's pointing to something.
I think that was another audible, Pat, and I think he was audibleizing towards Andre Rison. Barry was in there. He did his work.
Fourth down. Alexander in to punt for Atlanta.
And William Perry staying in on punt return. Now, you don't think he's going to block the punt, nor do you think he's going to be a blocker on the return, do you?
Nor do I think he's going to return the punt.
What's he going to do?
Gonna let it bounce. It bounces backwards. And finally down. The Eagles will take over at about the 16-15, make it. Today's game being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. First down, Eagles at their own 16. 17. Cunningham out of the shotgun. Gets it outside to James Joseph. Near first down yardage. Stopped by Darnell Walker. Total yards 409 for Atlanta, 213 for Philadelphia, including a 91-yard touchdown run by Herschel Walker.
You know, it looks like both teams today seem to, be floundering on offense and not getting started. But then the Falcons did get started, and I just have the feeling that the Eagle offense has never gotten started today.
Going to measure to see if it is a first down.
There's some player in the background saying, "Give us a break."
Yeah,
that'd be an Eagle.
Give us a link.
They got the link and the break.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. Once in a while, they let me do that just to keep in practice.
Yeah, I was going to guess who that was. I know that voice.
Cunningham firing deep. Collision deep. No flags intended for Herschel Walker, who got caught in a sandwich.
And the Eagles are thinking now. I mean, they're getting a little sense of urgency here, because now you get in the fourth quarter, you get sandwiched like that, and the ball is beyond you. I mean, he got hit. That wasn't a high-low. That was a left cheek, right cheek. I mean, the one blow started going into the other guy, and the other blow put you back to where you just came from.
Paint on the helmet. Here's Cunningham. Incomplete. Intended for Victor Bailey.
Yeah, now this Falcon secondary is hitting now, and they know because the Eagles need 2 scores, and they have to think in terms of 2 scores, so they know that every down is going to be a passing down. So the defensive backs can just lay back and just play the receiver all the way, and then that front 4 can just rush Cunningham every play.
3rd and 10. Cunningham out of the shotgun. No flags so far. Cunningham coming out of there, chased by Pierce Holt. Might have been over the line of scrimmage when he let it go. No flags though.
Yeah, you always have Jumpy Gathers is in there. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he's a guy that will flush the quarterback out of there. He's always getting penetration. He's always in their backfield, and he's the guy that makes Cunningham get out of there.
At the end of this game, John and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Eagles in a hurry. Shotgun on 1st down. Cunningham gets it to Barnett. Flag on the play.
That was one of those flags that came from deep.
It's going to be against Atlanta, it appears. They've been busy today. The men in the
Illegal
striped
contact.
shirts.
36, defense. 1st down.
That's Kevin Ross.
Right.
And he's right here in the slot. And that's going to be, any penalty here on defense in this area is an automatic 1st down. So I guess they said that he hit the guy after 5 yards. But that was awfully close.
1st down, Philadelphia at their own 44. 1st and 10. 7:18 left. Cunningham, as you said, a sense of urgency. Bailey caught it and covered up. Jesse Tuggle.
Well, the Eagles are also going to have to keep going no huddle now. And these defensive backs of the Falcons are hitting, and these receivers of the Eagles are knowing that these defensive backs of the Falcons are hitting.
Aware of that. 2nd and 4. Cunningham. Quickly. Intended for Herschel Walker. Incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 6:41 left to play and bring up 3rd down.
Because what you have to think of in these situations here as a receiver is to stay in your feet. I mean, that's the thing. You think of all the times that, those comebacks with the 49ers and the things that they've done with Jerry Rice and all those receivers. The first thing they think is to catch a ball, and then after that, stay in your feet. You got to keep running. And now, if you catch a ball here as an Eagle, you have to think of keep running, not going down.
3rd down. Randall has time. Incomplete. Flag on the play. The official had a tough time getting the flag out.
And there's 3 of them back here.
Yep.
There's 3 flags back here about the 42-yard line. We have 4 flags on the field.
A 4-flagger.
We have GPIs. Look at these 3. They're all right in a row. So whatever those mean, all 3 of them got him. That's at the line of scrimmage.
Pass interference. 26, defense. Holding, number 94, offense. They'll offset. 3rd down.
Yeah, those 3 flags that we saw were the holding penalty against the Eagles.
GPIs, whatever that is.
Those are GPI?
That's what he said.
Well, we had 3 guys saw the GPI, and then one guy deep saw the pass interference.
3rd and 4 at midfield. To Joseph. The quick snap. Didn't get the 1st down. About 2 yards short.
wonder if Rich Kotite is second-guessing himself there, because you know you have to go for it on 4th down. You have Randall Cunningham. You know you have to throw it. Why not let him throw too? Let's see, they just snapped the ball to Joseph, and he just ran in there, and the Falcons played it perfectly. Now you create a 4th down where you have to throw the ball.
They need 2.
Cunningham may stay under center.
Back to throw it. Chased by Tuggle. Incomplete. Fred Barnett, the intended receiver. That was an ugly exchange.
Well, I think that 3rd down play was a tough one, because when you have 3rd down, you should think in terms of 2 plays, and those were 2 bad plays.
Falcons take over. Wednesday at 8. That's Eastern, 7 Central. First down, Atlanta. They lead by 2 touchdowns. Long count. Hayward. A yard. This is the last Eagle offensive play.
Yeah, remember, it was 4th down. Now David Alexander can't hear Cunningham, who's in the shotgun. So he's telling him, come on up here, take the ball, and a snap. Randall Cunningham comes up, takes the snap. It still didn't work.
Second and 9. Philadelphia Eagles have not lost 3 straight games with Randall Cunningham as a starter since September of 1988. They're on their way to doing that.
Yeah, because they're an out-of-sync offense, and it's a, I mean, it's easy to say Randall Cunningham. I don't think it's Randall Cunningham. I think it's the offensive line. I think it's a running game. I think it's play call. I mean, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, they're just not getting the job done. I mean, they're always, like you say, just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And, you know, through penalties and bad plays and whatever, they always seem to be fighting an uphill battle, and they're a good team with a good talent, but they're not that good that they can fight an uphill battle and win it.
Second and 9. Atlanta, and they give this to Hayward again, and there's nothing there. They'll bring up 3rd and about 9.5 or 10.
They've been playing that, running that Mike Sandusky where he just pulls and traps, and they had some success early with it and not late. They're still working on William Perry's right arm or wrist or hand.
Is that the one he hit Hayward's helmet with?
Yeah, it was. I mean, he did hit him with his right hand. One where he got the face mask penalty on.
3rd and 9 coming.
Whatever it is, when they touch one part in there, it hurts.
That was an Eagle. This is an Eagle timeout, and that's all they have left. 5:36 left to play. The Falcons lead by 2 touchdowns, trying to even their record at 500, 6-6. And the 49ers to go. All of their games left, including this one, are games in the conference, which when you get down to those tie-breaking situations at the end of the year come into play.
You know, it was interesting talking to June Jones yesterday. He was talking about playing the 49ers next week, and he says, we'll play them tough. He said, we always play the 49ers tough out there.
George. Pass is picked off by Eric Allen. Something had to happen, and it does. Allen, first down, Philadelphia inside the Atlanta 30.
Well, they're thinking now, Jeff George is thinking of all the things he didn't want to do, didn't need to do. That's probably the only way that the Eagles could get back in this game. I mean, if he just throws this ball away, if he just throws an incomplete pass, if they just run it to Ironhead Hayward, anything except an interception is a thing that they can do. And Jeff George had to end up making that tackle himself. And he just threw his helmet. He is really mad. I mean, he knew that they had this game won. There's no way. The Eagles don't have any timeout. They have a 2-touchdown lead. There's no way that the Eagles can win this game unless he throws an interception.
Without a turnover, that's just exactly what happened. Cunningham and the Eagles have a 1st and 10 inside the Atlanta 30. Randall back to throw it, gets it out to Walker, gets away from one man. Inside the 20, about the 19, tripped up, but finally there, finally stopped by Jesse Tuggle, who hurt himself, and he visits the sideline. William Perry is headed in for x-rays. His right arm, we saw him looking at a minute ago, is injured. 2nd and 1 coming. Cunningham back to throw. Pass is caught by Victor Bailey.
This is something the Falcons had everything under control. They had the game. It looked like it was over. Eric Allen makes a great interception, and then Bailey comes in. Cunningham makes a good throw. Bailey makes a great one-handed catch.
1st and goal at the 5. Falcons trying to blitz. Flags on the play. Cunningham gets a free play. Fires it out of the end zone, but this is going to be against Atlanta.
June Jones is scratching his head, probably scratching that part of the head that play came out of. Jeff George knows it too. I mean,
see if he scratches his head.
Left linebacker. Still 1st down.
Still 1st down, Philadelphia.
I mean, he knows of all the things. You know, I mean, when you have a game won, and that's what winners do. When you get in a position a game is won,
you put it away.
You just put it away. You don't do anything that's going to give the other team any life. And the Falcons just gave the Eagles some life.
1st and goal from the 2 for the Eagles. Cunningham will start deep. Send Walker in motion. The handoff is to Herschel Walker, and he's going to get in. Yes. Herschel Walker, 2nd of the day.
Herschel Walker's having a big day. They just pull the guards. You're going to see Lester Holmes, number 73, becomes a leader here. Hand it to Walker. Here's 73 right there. He's going to get a little tap there. Herschel Walker runs right off that, takes that hit, you know, just accepts the blow, and then turns and gets in the end zone.
Walker has 3 carries for 98 yards today. Murray for the extra point. He'll try to get the Eagles closer. And he does. And it's 28-21 Atlanta. 4:22 left to play. Herschel Walker with 2 touchdowns. Don't forget, next week at 12 noon Eastern, the pregame show. Doubleheader action follows Dallas at Philadelphia, Washington against Tampa Bay next Sunday. Doubleheader games, Atlanta at San Francisco, where John and I will be at Candlestick. The Giants, Cleveland, Green Bay, Detroit, New Orleans, the Rams, Arizona, Houston. Next Sunday, check your local listing for the game you'll see in your area.
This is an interesting call here, Pat. Now, do the Eagles kick an onside kick, or do they kick it deep, play defense, and get better position? I would think that they would kick it deep.
Well, don't forget they're out of timeouts.
Yeah, they have no timeouts, but they still have 4 minutes, 22 seconds, and they will get 1 timeout at the 2-minute warning. And if they stop them, they get another timeout, a change of possession. So even though they don't have any timeouts, they're going to get 2 within this period of time.
All the Eagle points have come as a result of turnovers.
You know, the Falcons aren't in a prevent, an onside kick prevent.
They think he's going to kick it away. Turns out they're right. Clarence Verdin at about the 11. Flag on the kickoff return.
I wonder if we're working towards a record in regulation of flags.
I mean, it
seems like just about every other play there's a flag today. I think we're coming awfully close to maybe not beating the NFL record, but tying the NFL record.
Holding number 48 during the return.
William Perry.
1st down.
That was holding on the Falcons during the return.
Call against Darrell Ford. There's
they take him in the cart, and he's not going to be back. But the way the Eagles are going to play defense here in this situation, they don't need William Perry anymore.
1st and 10, Atlanta at their own 20. Eric Pegram is the deep back behind Jeff George. And the handoff is to Pegram. There isn't much there. Bill Romanowski comes up to make the stop. And right now, 28-21, Atlanta leads Philadelphia 2nd and 8 at the Georgia Dome. 3.5 minutes left to play. Jeff George gets to Eric Pegram again. There's nothing there. William Fuller is all over Pegram.
See, that's the problem. The Falcons are trying to run the clock out, keep the clock running, but they can't gain any yardage. That's what they should have done the last time they had the ball.
And that has to be considered, at least, as one of the weaknesses of this offense when you have to run out the clock.
Right, and then the last time they got that 3rd down and they forced one in there for an interception. If they throw the ball and it's incomplete, then that stops the clock.
Right. 3rd and 12. Atlanta by a touchdown, clock running. George back deep. Another interception they do not need. Quickly, George fires, incomplete, stops the clock. 2:36 left. George is slow getting up.
I'll tell you, Bert Grossman and Andy Harmon really had him zeroed in. I mean, Andy Harmon just comes straight up the middle. Watch number 91. You say he's working on the guard there. He comes straight up the middle free. Jeff George didn't see him. Jeff George was looking to his left, and Andy Harmon really unloaded on him.
Harold Alexander back to punt. Gets off a good kick. Jeff Seidner handles it for the Eagles at 35. Down he goes at about the 42. Jeff George, left knee. Now let's see what caused all that discomfort.
Well, you're going to see Andy Harmon, number 91. He just comes straight up the middle. You see Jeff George didn't see him, and it looked like he got hurt more when his knee hit the ground than it did when he was hit by Andy Harmon. But Andy Harmon's had a big game today.
Well, he's had a big year, as you said before.
Terence Mathis has had a big day today. But now the Eagles, you see, they got this timeout here, change of possession, and they're going to get another one at the 2-minute warning.
1st and 10, Philadelphia at their own 43. Cunningham starts deep. Goes deep. And the pass is picked off by Anthony Phillips. And Atlanta gets it back. Flags come flying out as a scuffle breaks out.
Pierce Holt's in the middle of it.
That'll stop in a hurry if he's in the middle of it.
Yeah. You were going to get in the middle of something, you'd want to take him with you.
Yep.
But there for a while, it was Pierce Holt was the only Falcon over there and a bunch of Eagles. There's the look of a warrior.
Yeah. Pierce Holt, so many years. I can just see him slogging through the mud. Got a little blood on Pierce.
Yeah, he sure did. I don't know if that came off his thumb when he wiped his nose or if that came out of his nose. But if you want to go, he'll go.
And you better be prepared to stay. Jeff George is back in the huddle, asking for the crowd to get into it.
Disqualification fouls. Number 95, Atlanta. Number 78 and 73, Philadelphia. They're all disqualified.
Antone Davis, Lester Holmes, and Pierce Holt all ejected.
And it all happened right up in this area. You see, they start there, and then they just start the scuffle. Right up here on top is where it is. That's where they're going. That's why Pierce Holt was the only guy in it. I mean, he's down. But then he almost got a reversal.
Yeah.
And they got him from behind again. At the end there, I think old Pierce was going to be against 5 or 6 guys.
And he was trying to get back in it.
And then he got bloodied and thrown out of the game.
Tough series. Tough series. Not funny.
Yeah.
Some
But he's happy.
spots, blood
they're
spots.
The fans are chanting here for Bobby Abearpack. They thought Jeff George was hurt on that last play.
Craig Hayward is back with Jeff George.
Jeff George is in there limping.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Jeff George isn't going to do anything stupid now. I mean, all
46 times he's put it in the air. 26 complete. At least one he'd like to have back. Hayward. Rambles and rumbles for about 4. Bert Grossman on the stop. Two-minute warning. Clock will stop. Atlanta 28, Philadelphia 21. 2 minutes left. Atlanta 28, Philadelphia 21.
I guess after an interception, and your team gets the ball back, you can
You're enjoying.
get out and dance. Start the dancing.
Second down. Hayward. About 4 more.
I'll tell you, if the Falcons can get a first down here, then they can start slicing that South Georgia ham.
South Georgia ham, as I recall, is kind of a little bit on the salty side, but it is good.
Yeah, there's William Perry. We saw him go out in a cart, and then he must have just walked right back. He didn't want to leave in the first place. So Walker was thinking after they got that ball back there, they had a shot, then they threw an interception. Here's Cunningham.
I don't know. Don't think so. William Thomas led the Eagle defensive charge. June Jones trying to get to 500. We called last week the week from hell. He had to suspend Andre Rison, one of its favorite players.
Kevin Ross walked out for a day.
Another one of his
He
favorite
came back.
players.
Vinnie Clark, who was the starting corner a week ago, they cut this week.
Right. Nobody back deep for the Eagles. They're going to put the rush on, but the kid comes out of there, and it's a dandy. Into and out of bounds in the end zone, Harold Alexander. You know, Terence Mathis, we don't do many Atlanta games, haven't seen him many times, haven't seen him. But you can understand after watching today why he's caught so many passes. And he's the Miller Lite player of the game.
Well, he was impressive. I mean, it just seemed like, especially early in the game, when the Falcons had to, establish what they were going to do, they were going to do it with Terence Mathis. Only caught those 10 passes, but he scored 2 touchdowns, scored a 2-point play,
Right.
and was the early go-to guy. And he looks like one of those guys, we talk about guys that enjoy it and love playing football. He looks like he's having fun out there while he's doing it.
Looks like he knows how to get open. Cunningham back. And throw it as far as he can. Victor Bailey made the catch. Clock still running.
The Eagles have no timeout.
No timeouts. They're going to try to get it stopped. Can't do it. Time runs out. Atlanta beats Philadelphia 28-21. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from the Georgia Dome, where the final score is the Atlanta Falcons 28, Philadelphia 21. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of the National Football League.